Futures back to the upside this morning as we get going on a Tuesday here, awaiting Netflix earnings after the close tonight. We'll touch on Netflix, obviously. We'll touch on Tesla coming up here this morning as well after the close tomorrow for Tesla. So a couple of really big earnings reports to get into tech and some of the bigger names as far as earnings season is concerned. Bit of a quiet start overall for the futures as we await those reports, though. Economic calendar kind of quiet today. We'll get into more important data coming up tomorrow and then Thursday and Friday as well. Rumble, I just noticed, back on the move this morning, more than 3.5 million shares already. Number of big announcements coming from Rumble yesterday. We'll talk about that. DWAC as well, also very active. Here in the pre-market, ton to get to once again. It's Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. Tradertv.live starts now. Yeah, 20% for 19, I guess, percent right now for Rumble shares. Very, very active here. That's Netflix, obviously, 1.7% to the upside, teaming up with WWE, or purchasing broadcasting rights for WWE. I can't take my eyes off this. Rumble, though, crazy volume already, 3.7 million shares. There's lots to talk about when it comes to Rumble. Lots to talk about again with Netflix on deck tonight.
Yeah, going to be really interesting. Yeah, that's a nice little foray for Netflix now into sports. That's kind of the holy grail for some of these streaming services. So we'll have to see how that works out with WWE. I believe they have like 17 million viewers a week, Brendo. So it's not a small amount. Fisker running up aggressively as well. Neil and I were looking at that this morning. Yeah. So a lot of names.
Yeah, I was reading that note on Fisker. They said they're going to sell the cars they didn't sell and were supposed to sell at the end of last quarter by the end of this quarter. So I guess that's positive for Fisker. Lots of, we touched on it late in the day yesterday if you're with us though, lots of announcements coming from the CEO of Rumble, Dave Portnoy, now a part owner in Rumble. I'm actually more excited about the technology side of what they announced after 4 o'clock when the market closed last night. They're basically creating, for anyone who's familiar with YouTube, they're basically creating their version of YouTube Studio, and it's going to, Sharif, which is kind of interesting, have the ability for live bidding for ad reads. Wow. So if you're on a live stream on Rumble, companies can come to their version of Studio and bid for you to read a commercial in real time, which is kind of cool and something that YouTube doesn't have to date. So yeah, lots to look at. And the other part of that was you're going to be able to stream, they were saying, from Rumble Studio to Twitch, to YouTube, to Rumble, to all these different platforms all at the same time. So yeah, pretty exciting for Rumble. We'll keep an eye on that, guys. Good morning.
Good morning. An absolute knockout move for TKO there and Netflix. And obviously, we're going to be looking at, in addition to Rumble, TKO, Netflix, you've got, what was that thing that moved yesterday? It begins with D, ends with
John Deere.
John Deere, that's the one, no, DWAC. DWAC challenging the $50 level as well. That was insane. Anyone watching the stock, you know how ridiculous it was in yesterday's trade. The position board is not currently working. We're going to work on that because I think we're both in. I have Fisker's back above $1. I'm in that one. Sean's in Rumble to the long side as well. So we'll get that fixed for you. But a heck of a lot to pay attention to today. You've got earnings. Obviously, the bigger names. I know everyone's excited for Tesla and Netflix. Let's be real. We get Netflix tomorrow. We get Tesla. But we did have some airlines that came through as well. GE with a bit of a report. Procter & Gamble. So some bellwethers out there. But this is a day where there's a lot of small caps that we'll be paying attention to with the likes of DWAC and Funware and Rumble all in play.
Yeah. It's funny because I own Netflix shares, but I'm never really that excited for Netflix earnings. I don't really know why, but you know, we're right at the top again here. It looks like it's going to break higher. That's a great deal. Getting involved with the WWE is fantastic, and it's an absolute home run. I mean, WWE has been around forever, as you guys know, and I think it continues to work. Sports entertainment, people chilling at home, Netflix and chill with that. So that's a great idea. It's just for Raw, right? So that should be still a good one, as they'll kill it. WWE is marketing geniuses over there, so that will work out. I'm like Brendo said there, I know nothing about this studio thing. That's pretty interesting. But we're going to go long. I mean, you play the momentum here. I feel like I really like this $5 level. That's 540. It's on the sticky note, but I got to get the sticky note out right now. So, 540 is what we really want. We're long right now at 580. Let's see where it goes. We just took the position right here, right now. I like the stock. Backed into 540 is where we load it up, and then we'll see about it breaking through 5. So right now, Rumble's on my mind. So is the Royal Rumble, which is coming up very, very soon. But I haven't watched wrestling in a minute. So
I was about to ask you, I'm like, well, who's supposed to win that sucker? But
I think Randy Orton's still around, believe it or not. I saw him not too long ago.
Okay.
And then there's always guys that show up. Like The Rock will probably show up and win the Royal Rumble or something, or John Cena.
Get named to the board and then show up and take down Royal Rumble. That would be.
I'm just mad that I missed buying some Alibaba. I told Sharif today I'm trying to buy some more, but huge move up for Alibaba today, up 6%. And wow, like this is the biggest move in Alibaba pre-market that I've seen in a hell of a long time. So the Chinese government, we're going to get to it, but injection of some funds here for the market. So let's see if that can get going. TCEHY is another name that I've really wanted to get into. I got to get Alfred on the phone here because his Archer Daniels Midland there. No, I meant, did you see his pick there, Sharif? Have you seen this pick? Yesterday down 30%. I want to find out what he's doing. From 70, so he was here at $75, $76 talking about this name, down to 50? Arthur, where are you? I'm going to send out the bat
He
signal.
likes it when stocks come down.
I got to figure about that one right there. So.
You know what, though? If you liked it at 70, you're going to love it at 50, which is a dangerous game to play. But, that was a bit of a shocker to come through. Normal stable stock.
Yeah. I only mentioned that because of Tencent. That was another one of his picks, which I really like. I'm not in this one. Look at Tencent today, $35. I don't know where it's going to print. We don't, unfortunately, quote all of the prints here in the pre-market, but looks like it's going to be pretty stable. Alibaba is the one to look out for there. All right, back over to the bridge.
Yeah, there was a SEC probe announced yesterday for that ADM. The CFO placed on leave, I'm just reading.
Yeah, I see.
Because of an accounting probe for that ADM. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. We were discussing a few things. If you go back to the end of last week, General Electric was one of those. You and I were sitting here talking about the daily chart on this. Earnings from GE, we get earnings from 3M, we get earnings from a number of names this morning. Obviously, the big one coming tonight with Netflix, as we were saying, Tesla after the close tomorrow. But downside so far, although it has bounced somewhat anyway for GE.
Yeah, and this is the last time we could be seeing GE as this one conglomerate. They're looking to spin off some of their sectors there, Brendo. But yeah, it looks like we're really down on downbeat Q1 profit forecast. So the guide really is the issue here. We'll have to watch how it trades the rest of the day, down 1% right now.
Yeah, I was just double checking on the earnings call. Give me a second here. 7:30, so yeah, probably maybe just wrapping up there for General Electric. They found Jack Ma as well. Sean, you were mentioning Alibaba there. He was buying a whole bunch of shares of Alibaba in the final quarter of last year as well. I think it was about 50 million US worth of Alibaba shares for Jack Ma, as you said, day highs right now.
Was he missing again?
Ah.
Got to make some books up.
He wasn't missing.
Like, where's Waldo? Like, we're going to have where's Jack?
Where's Jack,
like, and he needs to wear, like, that striped outfit so we can always find him in a nice little hat.
But you know what he's doing? He's buying. That's all you care about.
I don't think he's making any money because finally now we're baking up to the upside. I guess he's still going to be underwater on some of those shares. But
one thing here. I don't know what's going on with Plug Power. I just asked. Okay, so Brendan just put in there was an offering for Plug Power. That's the usual reaction that you see on an offering. But Plug Power on volume breaking out. Just wanted to point that out. I know you guys are probably looking at that one in the chat. We have these movers. It popped up on a lot of radars and a lot of screens there. Look, I don't think we're probably okay. If I mention GE right now, this will be the last time we talk about it today. It's possibly true, not always, but it's a good stock and a good company. But it's not much of a trading vehicle. Now, yeah, they might be wrapping up the call, but on earnings, $500,000 worth of volume on GE. It's a gorgeous looking chart. You like it. That's great. but there have not been too many volatile days. You got a couple in there, and you would think maybe you could have one of those $10 type move days. Just keep in mind, it's already done that. Like if you like the chance possibly to get GE down at the 120, just sort of looking at where the support levels were, like that's all like the pre-market stuff. So, and that's on very light volume. Maybe you get some kind of Huadong retest now that the call is probably wrapping up, or you get something like that at the open. But this ends up likely nothing burger. Like the company, don't really see much of a trade there. But I'll tell you for the BOVA thing, the fact that Jack's buying makes me like it more. What'll be frustrating is if there isn't, usually there's a dip to buy in Chinese ADRs when they gap up, almost always. So that's typically the plan of action. I don't want to stray too far away from that, but it's absolutely flying here. This is certainly something we'll trade more likely than GE. And as for Fisker, if you were following yesterday, the whole long over 1 is back in play today. The short actually worked better under 1, but I'm back on the long over.
I don't even want to get out of any of that. We just got more shares on Rumble. I wanted this to break $6. I'm waiting like at 6.15, 6.14 to see if we can get something out on a break. So we'll see if that can go through. Yeah, look, another name that we didn't talk about much today. I'm doing the sticky note as we speak. Alibaba's on there, so that will be a stock to look at for sure. But NIO is another one up 6% today. And this has been really beat up. The problem is I don't really like this until we see Tesla, until we see if the EV space is actually healthy or not. So I don't know. I'm not in preference of buying some NIO, but the thing about it is it's already done 2 million shares. So if we're going to trade names that have catalysts and have volume, then this fits the bill. So you're going to look at it right here. I'm looking at this sort of wick high of 670, 665.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, no, just a couple days ago, that little level there, 665 maybe, and then a 650 clean break probably is in the cards. So we'll, a little bit of shares sitting here right now, that's about 170,000. So we'll get through that most likely, and then we will go, I mean, that's 10% of the day, right? So then we'll see if we can break that level and then up to 650. I'd like to see a 650 break on NIO, but I think for me, just because I know what I'll trade, it'll be NIO and Alibaba. You tend to look at PDD sometimes, I feel.
Well, I like one level in PDD, and we're not seeing it today.
Is that still up on Temu? Like that?
It is.
That was the strongest. Yeah.
PDD is an absolute rocket ship.
That's the strongest one.
And like the daily chart, it's the only thing that's held up. I seriously doubt we have any chance of seeing the 136 level today on PDD. With the group up like this, we're not getting one. If 136 happens, I've probably at some point lost on a long in one of the other two names, to be honest with you. So I like it. It's a good-looking stock. Maybe you could take out these highs at 153, but you're sitting exactly in the middle. Always a chance for a breakout on this name. I just feel when you look at the Chinese ADRs, there's so much room to run on the beaten up ones that if they catch a bid, the percentage gains always look so enticing. And that's the deal with Nio and Alibaba. The only difference, NIO, I always like these double close phenomenons, and you've got like a double close here at 630, which anytime a stock does that, it shows you some significance at that level. So if there is a dip buy to be had, or at the open, I'm looking for a level to hold, it would be right there at the 630 level to try to be long before it gets to any of the resistance levels. But that's more of a 930 thing.
All right, a couple of things here. Dollar, first off, this is the DXY back to the upside. It's trying to go green right now. We did have a significant move down early on this morning, but we're right back to break even for the dollar, both the 30-year and the 10-year. Also green on the day after 2 days in a row to the downside. Yeah, that Plug Power move is kind of interesting. 328.9 million share offering worth about $1 billion. US, priced at 304 for Plug. That's really all I was seeing for Plug Power. So yeah, weird move to the upside. There's this one I saw just started to get going as well. Remember SGMT from yesterday was a huge mover back to 18 bucks right now. A little bit of volume coming in on SGMT. Alibaba, as we said, day highs. A couple other things to note here. UAL, Sharif, you and I were just talking about the Boeing side of things. The CEO just came out and said, or I guess part of the call maybe, they're making fleet plans going into the future without Boeing 737 MAX airplanes. So that says a lot at this point, if United's already at that point.
They have 79 of them, Brendo, the most amount of any carrier. First to Alaska Airlines, second there. And technically, they are grounded until January 26th, but the company widely expects them to be grounded after that. And so building on what Brendo said, they're going to have to make their plans going forward without those 79 planes. With respect to earnings, Brendo, they beat on the top and bottom line. However, revenue and earnings were down year over year on the quarter. They posted about $600 million worth of profit this quarter. That's down 29% from this time last year. And just remember how aggressive the demand was for travel in 2023. So a bit of a weird number there. With respect to guidance, Brendo, full year 2024, they're looking for between $9 and $11 a share.
And just to touch on that, it was 737 MAX 10 that he was specifically pointing to, not even the MAX 9. Okay. So thinking into the future without Boeing potentially here, at least that line of planes, guys, for UAL.
Yeah, UAL up nicely. It wasn't all fantastic, the earnings, but it doesn't really matter. It's the reaction. You had already quadunked into them before. So sometimes when you have a bit of a drop, it gives you a better chance to head to the upside. I don't know if, like, it's not even done like a tremendous amount of volume, but like 41.5 is sitting right there for a potential breakout on UAL if it happens at the open, but I hate the volume that I'm seeing. What's more interesting is you put that pressure on Boeing and they're up, and since its hold of the 200 level, it's got this 217 in its sights, right? Like the test in the 200 failed to 17, there's your close on the 12th, right up there. If it can break that out at 17, I think you get up to that close and all systems go potentially for Boeing. It's weird on bad news, but we were talking yesterday, can they close above the 200 period moving average? Well, the first step happened. The second is to find buyers above that 217 level, which I think we're going to figure out at the open on Boeing. So it's weird that you have that in the face of what's going on and what was just reported with UAL, more pressure on them. But this is a stock that gave back 65 bucks. So it might have done all of the worst selling, at least let the market dictate. And as longer it holds a 200 period moving average, maybe it's got a second run in it. I tend to think stocks go sideways for a bit when they test a level like that. Like when it failed the 50 period, it got to the 50, went sideways for a couple of days and then fell. I wouldn't be surprised if we spend one more day hanging around here and then go. But Boeing's on that radar now that it's closed above the 200 period. There's room for another leg here.
Oh, man. Sirens. We got Rumble, baby. 580, just took it out at 610 right now, 614, 615. We told you we weren't trading this yesterday, but that was our bad. We're trading it now today, baby. And there it goes right up to the upside. Small cap, large cap, mini cap, no cap, whatever. We're all about that one right here. And there goes Rumble back up to the upside. So, yeah, we're still going with that. So I don't have any more offers. Just moon, baby. Who cares where you're going to go to from this point? We're already long. We have our targets. We took a piece out. Boeing, I still think that the trade is there. We talked about that, honestly. We talked about this the other day. We talked about it down at 200, that we really like this level. Buy it there. Hold it against that 175 bottom. And you've almost already made back the 25 bucks. That would have been the risk. So if you can get back up to 220 or so, you could take some off. I mean, you had to get 200. You wouldn't have been able to get that. I mean, that was the very bottom. Like the trade really could have been like 208, 209, something like that. So you're really just in the money now, $7, $8, $9, depending on whatever price you have. So you need this really to get into. The idea was that it would get to the 230 marker, and then that would basically get you flat against that bottom. So that's kind of the trade that I liked for Boeing when you sort of dip down there. And then we got that report that they went through all 40 planes and they didn't find any errors. Now they still have another 70 to go. Yeah, I think there was
170 total.
170 in total. So they still have a little bit to go, but so far so good. So when you got that report, I don't know if that was the all clear, but nice move back up to the upside against that 175 bottom. So I don't know. I tend not to trade it intraday unless we get some kind of announcement regarding something. So we'll wait to hear about Boeing, but yeah, I like the stock for a long-term hold at these levels.
All right, just quickly, another one, people watching this morning here. Fisker back to the upside 2 days in a row here. Decent volume behind this as well, sitting right at $1. So they're going to sell the cars they were trying to sell by the end of last quarter. By the end of this quarter is essentially Am I summing that up properly?
You are.
At this point?
Yes.
I don't really see any other positives coming out of this announcement today.
Brendo, you said it perfectly. They made 10,000 vehicles in 2023. They delivered 4,700 of those. So the remaining balance they're trying to move off their books so that they can bring in the new line for 2024. Remember that this company doesn't only make their own vehicles. Magna, which is a big Canadian company, actually makes some of their vehicles in Europe as well. So they have some of their side in the United States where they're producing, and then Magna's producing that in Europe. But the only positive side to this, Brendo, more than 100 dealers in the United States, Canada, and Europe have expressed interest in becoming a Fisker dealer. So, I mean, I don't know. Is that okay?
At this point, I don't think there is an answer to that. Let's get to a few analyst moves for you this morning. Adara has upgrades and downgrades over at the screen.
And face to the upside this morning after an upgrade from Truist, a price target increase from 85 to 145, so pretty significant here, definitely one to watch. ExxonMobil getting an upgrade from TD Cowen, and then we have some chip names on the horizon here as well. AMD with an upgrade from Cantor Fitzgerald, and Cantor Fitzgerald also upgrading Broadcom today. For downgrades, Coinbase to the downside here after a downgrade from JP Morgan Chase, $80 price target. Cheesecake Factory also getting downgraded by JP Morgan here. We have Chevron with an downgrade from TD Cowen, and Truist downgrading Bloom Energy here, guys.
AMD gets a downgrade. AMD gets an upgrade now. You got XOM getting an upgrade. You got CVX getting the downgrade. It's all over the place here.
It's all the same crap.
It is, whatever. People are making their adjustments, and it is what it is. Sometimes I think you can read a bit much into them, but Chevron's at the same support level. This has been the bounce zone, at least for the last month or two. For Chevron, this 141 to 140 level. It did make a 10% bounce once and sort of came back in here. So the 140 is pretty darn key. Like, I remember it was 98 on XOM that held, and then eventually when it broke, it was kind of trending downside now. So I think if this 140 can't hold on, there's probably a trade here in CVX. Now I'm long this one on my long-term account. I'm not selling it or anything like that. And I just recently bought the 141 level. But as far as a trade goes, if it doesn't hang on to 140, I do think you've got something. I don't think it happens today because you're pretty much at 42s. But once that's gone, I think you've got a little bit of room for. It's not your typical flat bottom break because the flat bottom breaks we talk about tend to have bigger moves, like the Nios of the world and that ilk. But I'm keeping my eye on that 140 on Chevron for sure.
Look, welcome to the party, JP Morgan. I mean, we downgraded Coinbase up here at 180 and slapped a 130 on it. It's down to 122. So, I mean, they're just joining the party now with an $80 handle. That is pretty aggressive back down to the downside. To me, this was one of the easiest plays in the whole market. I mean, I thought a firm was pretty easy, but the problem with the firm is the short float. Obviously, Coinbase has that issue as well, but that helped it going back up to that. The short float helped it there, and now is hurting it because now those traders that have built that short position now get to watch this thing fall down, and now they come in and start to downgrade again. I'd say you got to be careful about this 118. I mean, we have Bitcoin rate down here at 38.9. I wish for Bitcoin to absolutely rip, and that would cause Coinbase to get back up to the upside. So I feel like there's been a lot of damage in this name over the last 2 weeks. And again, congratulations to anybody that made anything on that. That was a great call for those of you that were short. But it wasn't even like we can always hooray the bears, but the bulls. I mean, the bulls had quite a run. I mean, you went from $80. Like I was calling for Coinbase to be dead down here. I mean, and it went from 70 to 190. Like that was a monstrous move in 2 months, which is why this move doesn't surprise anybody. And it's just a 50% retracement back in. So you can still get going here on Coinbase. It may not be dead. Remember yesterday I said what happens is they upgrade and they downgrade things when they get to key levels, which is why I was expecting DraftKings to get downgraded when it got to that 38 or 40 or whatever it was. Well, the same story is true of that Chevron, as Neil just showed it, and the same thing is going to be true here of ExxonMobil, which is now down right at these. Okay, well, you're going to have these stupid wicks, but right at this level right now that it needs to support. It needs to support this 95, 96 area. It just made a 52-week low yesterday, or 2 days ago, at 95.77. So ExxonMobil right here, of course, coming in to try to save the day. Will they be able to? It's showing zeros right now. We will find out if they can. But you know what else is taking names? It's still Rumble. Rumble goes all the way to 620. Watch out for 640. Feeling like we might want to put an offer up there in case we get going again. Remember, these names could fall in again, like at any time. You could get an offering. You can get anything on any of these names at any time. So just be careful here if you're holding on to some Rumble. We're only out of a third of this, and we got out at 605. So we need to possibly get out of some more if we get into that 640 area.
Shares though. We were just talking about the float on Rumble. I didn't even realize it's only 80 million shares on Rumble, which is not huge. 280 million outstanding, 80 million free. I only see 4% short, so it's definitely not huge.
Yeah, well, no, that was what I was worried about there. If this could really squeeze to the high side, you know, providing a lot of opportunities here for creators. Looks like there is better profit sharing there with creators, more free speech as well being talked about in the chat. So we'll have to see how it does second day for it.
Yeah, the CEO was really interesting interview yesterday. The CEO was saying the studio portion that they're launching was coming out today, but the actual ad revenue, the real-time ad buys and auction mechanism is still a couple of weeks away. So starting to build some hype around that. But yeah, this volume is impressive to say the least. Already 6 million shares there for Rumble. You guys were talking about Bitcoin there. I was going to mention, yeah, BTC back to 38.9, 38.5. There's a couple other crypto-related stocks downside as a result as well. I mean, I just saw J&J pop up in front of me on some volume on their earnings. I mean, we can get into that a little bit later on. But as far as crypto, I mean, anything you have your eye on today?
Yeah, well, JP Morgan had a comment today on Coinbase. Brendo, downgrade there. I'm sure Derek covered that. But here is the comment from the analyst. Says, we think the catalyst in Bitcoin ETFs that has pushed the ecosystem out of its winter will disappoint market participants, says Kenneth B. Worthington. He goes on to say cryptocurrency prices are already under pressure with Bitcoin falling below 40,000. They don't see this as a 2024 story. In fact, they see it as a 2023 story. And the good part is behind us, according to this analyst.
Netflix obviously in the spotlight for earnings tonight. Tesla coming up after the close tomorrow. Wedbush reiterating their outperform on Tesla, maintaining a $350 price target. I didn't mention to you, I saw the first Cybertruck in Toronto on the weekend.
Driving?
Actually driving, yeah.
And thoughts?
It was on Queen Street. I mean, it looks like a Cybertruck. I mean,
was everybody looking at it?
Oh my God, it was insane.
Of course.
It was insane.
Yeah.
There was like a crowd walking along the street. Everybody was like, but I mean, the guy driving it was probably 25, 30 years old.
Oh.
Young kid, so yeah.
Lucky duck.
There was, I don't know, the thing I heard about the Cybertruck, and you guys will correct me if I'm wrong about this. I just heard it on one of those news channels. You got to clear, there's certain things you have to clean right away off of the truck because it can lead to coercion and that kind of stuff. And one of them was like bird poop. Like, really?
That's not happening.
Like, I really, come on. Like, there's no chance you need to be prompt in cleaning something like that. If that's true, that's not necessarily a good thing for Tesla. But let's keep in mind, hey man, Tesla's one of those good stock, good trade, disappointing anyways trades yesterday. Because for all the world, we like the 212 level on Tesla. You know, go to 3 days ago. Forget about it. Look at all of last week. 212 bottom, 212 bottom, then 212 resistance at the close. Then it resisted again on Friday. So yesterday, you got to know where the brain is thinking. My brain's like, you hold above 212 at the open. Let's go for the long. We pop to the 3-minute chart so you can see it now. It holds, it dips under the 212, holds 212, and then ramps to the upside. Quick $4 or $5 move. Looking like one of those rip your face off Tesla days. It's found a bottom, only to end up not only retracing the move, but giving it all back and breaking lows. That's not a very bullish looking stock when that happens. What it does set up, however, is that same level coming in to play in the other direction. Now Tesla, it's in a bit of a downward trend. It's felt to me with these lower highs. I guess I could always do something like that too if we're really interested in it. It's been shooting lower highs and lower lows throughout this entire rally in the market. And the other thing about this bottom trend line is after the split, that corresponds with the previous high. So I'm all over this one trend line that I feel like we can get to the 170, which is where it's going to be intersecting. Right down here at about 170. Lots of room till you get there. Maybe you test that 200 today. But that same 212 level that was good for the breakout suddenly looks like resistance to me at 212. We pop there at the open and start to see a bit of a curl. Like if I see any kind of a wick like this, or if it starts curling at the 212 level, I'll just be looking for the short. Once again, it just feels like it's not quite made that bottom. We'll see, like it's putting in lower lows still. If it's above that 212, I still believe it has a chance to break out above that price, but I know where my key line in the sand is going to be. And just because I haven't really gone, it's not that Fisker is a complicated idea. If you were watching yesterday, Fisker breaks $1, longs, and then it also bounced off $1 into the 110. The short was actually better than the long, obviously. Like short in here, I went all the way down to like 88.90 cents. But the long right now in the twos, scalp it to the high, hold a piece for the breakout of the 110. If it breaks 110, look to join on any kind of a stair-step play to the upside. If it fails $1 at the open, get out. I'm not instant reversing short at 9:30. That was more of a play. If it reverses middle of the day under $1, that's more of a reversal play. But back to Fisker. It's a gimmick long off the dollar level. Yeah, they got news, but it's more about the 47% short float and the $1 level than anything else.
Well, we have IBM, we have Chevron,
3Ms as well.
Lots of stuff. Okay, just real quick here. Brennan sort of talked a little bit about Tesla, then a little bit about crypto. So unfortunately, I have some not bad news, but if I'm going to show here. Look, let's just look at this for a second here. So here's all the coins that I kind of watch. All right, so the last 24 hours, Bitcoin down 5, Ethereum, down 8% on Ethereum, down 10% on Solana, down 6, Ripple, Cardano 9, Doge 9, Avalanche, Polkadot, Polygon, a lot of people talk about. Everybody's favorite dog, the Shiba Inu, is down here as well, Litecoin, Stellar. Anyways, as you go, they're all getting cranked. And even in the last hour, 1%, like it's not nice, right? And so I just use CoinGecko there for that portfolio. But anyways, so here's Bitcoin down here, 38.7. It looks like it's going lower. The chart is making moves ever since we cracked through 40,000. I feel like there's not support till about, we talked about 38, but we said more specifically 36. We can look at a chart of that. But we can't trade spot Bitcoin yet on the show. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. So for right now, I don't think Mara holds yesterday's open. So that's what I was going to say. A breakthrough here of 1550. We did swoosh down into 1520. So I think if you get a break of 1550 and you're able to execute like we are, like fast on a system like this, I think you want to put some bids there to make that 20, 30 cents quickly, maybe half, and then watch out for it to fall back in. Or look for some short areas right here, 1650-ish, where you had some support. Before I say all of this, though, I think we're in the teens, right? Yeah, so 21% short flow right there from Mara. So that's going to be something to consider when you're shorting this name, that you could get it blown out the top. But the best part about it is we have a top that we can respect. So if you take out this 1715 area, then you get out of there. And I think you start to short in around 1670. So it's very easy, this trade. You either break through 1550 right here, and then you watch it tumble down, and you have your outs maybe 16, kind of where we are, or you short the top and have that out. So unfortunately, Mara, Bitcoin, crypto, it doesn't help that Coinbase also gets downgraded today by Morgan, or by JP Morgan. For me, this has fallen pretty dramatically. I can still see some traders coming in to buy Coinbase, but I'd rather pick on Mara a little bit today at $15. I'm sorry, I know there's a lot of people long that name.
Easier short.
All right, let's get into everything else we need to know here at 9 o'clock. Sharif's going to kick things off, as always, with a look at the market.
48.80, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday. The overnight high, 48.91. And then look at this candle over here. We came awfully close to touching 4,900 yesterday at around early morning, 7 a.m. So we'll have to wait and see whether we get a 4,900 touch. But with respect to resistance, I'm going to say look at 48.75 as possible support.
If you have not done so yet, super easy. Scan that QR code or go to watchlist.tradertv.live. Enter your email address, and then you get everything you need to know. absolutely free to your inbox every single morning from us. Let's go. Chinese ADRs back to the upside, and boy, do they ever need it in a big way. The daily chart on Alibaba kind of tells the story. I mean, you can look at FXI as well. The ETF kind of looks the same. Bigger gaps in that, though. 6.6% back higher here. There's a couple of things. More stimulus coming from the Chinese government, 278 billion worth. They found Jack Ma, who has spent last year buying his own company's stock to the tune. It's not huge, like 50 million for a guy like Jack Ma is just, he's probably day trading.
Yeah, like you said, $278 billion looking to be pumped into the economy here. Bloomberg reporting that the Chinese state-owned enterprise looking to buy onshore shares with that money to boost their own capital markets. They're also citing, basically saying that the measure could be added as soon as this week if it is approved by top officials. And the report came a day after Chinese Premier Li Qiang called for efforts to stabilize capital markets in the second largest economy. So we'll have to wait and see how ADRs do today.
Yeah, coming off the worst day for stocks in the Asian session yesterday, as if you remember, since 2022. So it was really, really bad there yesterday. So something needed to be done. Lots of resistance, however, on the way back up here, guys, for these things.
Well, that's the thing. When you've been stair-stepping to the downside for so long, you're going to have a lot of levels to bust through when you get up. One of them already happened. That's the $70 level. There's not much you can do about it. Like when I sat down this morning and was going through the notes, it's like, okay, you know, we're barely above the 70 level. So I was thinking just hold the 70 at the open or have even like a slight dip, and then you'd have a chance at essentially the rip that's happening right now. But instead, you were already broken that level, and the second move happened very, very early. You're tight to the next resistance spot or close enough to it at 74 bucks. So if it gets to that 74, that was a little bit of support after it failed the 50 period, and then right into that level. I think you could have a little bit of a dip there. It's hard to want to chase this one. It almost needs to come, like 71 and 72 are kind of the levels on the way back in for dips, which make it a little bit tricky to chase. And that leads me to like the secondary play, which I thought was going to be the secondary play, but Nio actually has a level to work off of. I just drew that double close at 630. Let me just draw it again and then actually hit the save button. So I like that double close on NIO at 630. Right here, 17th and 18th, back-to-back days, then resistance under, breaking out over. If it can hold 630 at the open, as long as it's not flushing underneath, look for longs up and into that previous high. So might end up being Nio turns into the first trade. It was going to be Alibaba off the 70 level at the open, but you know, when the stock's trading at 73 bucks, if you get 70 at the open, you know, some extreme things have happened over there in Baba world. So it's probably likely to be a little bit of Nio. I doubt I trade Pinduoduo today unless something drastic happens to the downside. But if they do a huge reverse and these stocks end up red, Pinduoduo 136 has been money.
Yeah, so I just put here on the sticky note today that we would want Baba 70 long, and I actually wrote down what the plan of action was here. Like I said, I don't know where this price is going to be at 8:30, so we're going to have to play the dip back into VWAP, which is now $72. I suggested VWAP might have been $71.75. So right now VWAP is down to $72. I think when there's a gap, you retrace it back to VWAP. So there it is. So we'll see if that can happen there for a dip buy into Alibaba. Yesterday on the market recap show, there it is. There it is. I got it. The market recap show. Thank you for the excitement there, Sharif, as that's means a lot to me, so thank you for that. But we talked about FXI. I asked Michael Noss about this name, and it's funny that we just talked about it yesterday, and you know, we kind of decided that it wasn't worth catching a falling knife. But yesterday, I don't think yesterday was green, but okay. Anyways, nice move out. Like there's a day before, and then there's yesterday. But okay, maybe opened and closed. Okay, we'll wait. $22, nice move. I still like to see this break $22.50, maybe even break 23. But FXI, you can go back, and you are just right now. Like, see, this is the thing when I talk about what happens in upgrades and downgrades. Like, look where we are. You know, and then China basically upgrades their own market today by injecting all this fuel, right? So we'll wait to see if it comes in, but $21 is that bottom for FXI. We talked about this yesterday on the recap show. I like it. I put an order in my long-term account today to buy some Alibaba, so let's see if that fills. It's up 7%. I don't want to buy it off open, any kind of a dip buy in. I like the name. But remember, FXI is about... So if you want to get your hands into everything, this is the large cap ETF for China. So the thing is it's about 9 to 10% Alibaba as it is. Then you will also get, you know, some Baidu. Like Alibaba is just up the most. It's just because a lot of traders want to buy that name. Charlie Munger, there's a lot of big, obviously passed away, but there's a lot of big investors that are into Alibaba, little bit less into some of these other names. So look at Baidu, up 4%. We have PDD today as well, up. So if you just want to get your hands on all of them, you buy FXI, or you can also buy KWeb, which is the trust for the internet stocks. So that's a nice move to the upside. This is Chinese internet stocks. So that's going to be a nice upside move today as well. And again, all of these are near the bottom. For me, I don't know if China's investable yet. It's a nice story. Play pullbacks. Congratulations, Reliable Rudy, Shakib, and some of the other guys in the chat there that have been buying China names. Today you get a little relief rally. The question is, are you selling into this rally, or do we believe it long term? I want to see a little bit more.
UAL reporting. Nice look for UAL here, trying to hold on to 41. Not a lot of volume behind this, but pretty good report, top and bottom. Beat for UAL, decent volume after the close yesterday, but yeah, a little bit of participation needed here, I think, this morning.
Yeah, top and bottom line beat. Like you said, Brendo, the guide was good, looking for $9 to $11 a share for the full year 2024. If you're going to trade this, you should know that the earnings call for this bad boy starts at 10:30 a.m., so expect some volatility.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for comments, guys, for United.
I like, we're just trying to figure out what company Shein is.
Well, yeah, because the Shein IPO is being, I guess it's not necessarily stalled, but there's a security probe in China. Right. So that's actually, it is possibly delayed.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't
really matter. UAL, we don't really trade. Like, what's crazy about the travel space is I always prefer trading the cruise lines to the airlines 10 times out of 10. But UAL is set up for a potential like break and run. It's just a matter of where's the volume? You want to talk about where's Jack Ma? Where is the actual volume here? 300,000 shares when you're up 7% in the pre-market after earnings, with all that's going on with Boeing and the industry in general. You've been under pressure. You're finally making a run higher. Like, you're at the 50 period moving average. You have a lot going on here. I just would have thought you'd see some volume for a breakout. I'm never taking a 930. I can't think of a situation in which I've taken a 930 breakout where there wasn't relative volume in the pre-market. And I can't imagine why I would. It looks like a good setup on the chart. The volume's telling me otherwise here. It's more Boeing, I think, that could be more interesting potentially if it can break that 217, find some buyers above. That's got some relief rally in it as well. But UAL is seeming like a bit of a pass here because of the light volume. Got to have volume and volatility as a trader.
Yeah, I just want to tell everyone I did put it on the sticky note here today, and I do have some ideas. But like I said, I don't normally trade earnings days, but I really, really like that 40 level. So bail if we break 50 cents. So it's just one of those things there. Go find the sticky note. I have Fisker, Rumble, BOVESPA, UAL, Apple, some other ideas on there. But I like to see us hold 40. We've now broken above it. I feel like 40 was a pretty key level here on the daily chart. We kind of danced around it for a minute. We dropped back in below, and there's that 39.50-ish area right there. Goes back to January 3rd. So I'm bidding right now. So I do have a bid down there near $40 and teens. So let's see if it comes back in a little bit. I think that's possible. The problem with earnings, it's like it's up nicely. I just don't know if think the longs will cash this out because you're now above the 50-period moving average, but above it barely. And you do have a 20-cent spread right now with not huge volume. So if this is a 20-cent spread, just flip it around, and then all of a sudden that becomes 40.80, right, with a 20-cent spread down this way. So maybe we can get a little bit of a flush on light volume early, and then we'll see where we go. Remember, it's a NASDAQ name, not a New York name. Look at Fisker here. I know Neo's long. That's a nice little bid. We have Nio with a bid. We have Alibaba with a bid. But this is something else I want to show you. The market right now is up 0.19. We're up 0.12. I'll move this over. Maybe it's easier to see. On the NASDAQ right now. But look at this. B for buy side and for buys. So right now, nice bid side right here. Not too many sells. Goldman's a sell. Bank of America's a sell. So we got some bank pressure. But other than that, there's a lot of nice bids, including Pfizer, XPEV, all the Chinese names. So maybe we do get Save also. Remember when we said I was like 675 is a good level there for Save. I don't know if you guys took that, but watch out for maybe getting out of this one as well. Rumble right now starting to go up back up to the upside. So we'll continue to watch out for Rumble right now. That was a good idea to get long down there, and now we're starting to break higher. I do have an offer on Rumble at 630. Yes, exactly at 630, just to get out the next time it makes this move. And then we'll hold again. So out 1/3, out 2/3 if we can, then out 3/3 all the way up, hopefully near $7-8 as Rumble has a chance, I feel, to get to this level. We just got a break right here, 650. And then I think a 650 break gets us to 7, which then we'll have to see because that goes back to September. So, all right, that's that still. Wow, 14 minutes to go. Netflix and WWE.
Yeah, big deal announced if you missed it. Netflix buying the Monday Night Raw program to be the exclusive home for Raw in the US, Canada, UK, and Latin America beginning right now, but in a year, 2025.
Yeah, it's a 10-year deal, Brendo, worth about $5 billion. It is Netflix's first foray into live sports, so we'll have to see how they do. Apparently, there are rumors circulating that the set for Raw will be improved vis-a-vis the moving over to Netflix. Also, separately, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is going to join the board at TKO, so how could that go?
It's interesting that they're reporting tonight. This feels like something that would go very well in an earnings call, but they've done it a little early here, guys, with this announcement.
Come on, don't you know that's the new thing? Zion's was all over this too, or Zion was all over this. You gotta have something before. Whether you just drop the entire earnings report or you drop a little bit of news, maybe you have a bit of a guide that you update a little bit early. This is what we're all about. Give the market some juice. But now, I don't know if Netflix is up 2%, the 500 level. If you're trading this, you know what's up. $500 has been resistance. It's broken it a few times, gotten to 1s and 2s, and then turned around. So I suppose it probably needs to, that was interesting, it needs to clear out the 2s and 3s before it's really broken that 500 zone. I don't wonder if, and I've never traded TKO, so you never traded the stock before, but clearly they're up 21% here. It's done 880,000 shares, which is good relative volume for it, as you can obviously see. It's done the types of volumes in the pre-market that it's usually doing on the day. But I want to see this at the open because the spread looks pretty decent. It's a 10-cent spread on this stock, and it's broken out above some key levels here. I don't wonder if it goes dip. You could look at the 90, but I need to see what happens for the stock at the open. Netflix, unless it gets to that 500, 01, 02, and starts to try to break out those levels, I don't think there's a trade there. But just a quick update. Fisker is continuing just that slight grind higher. Every stair step up, I'm taking some out on the way to that 110 level. If it breaks 110, still want to hold on to a piece. But I think it's worth a watch, that TKO. We'll need to see it trade. Never traded it once. We'll see what the level 2 looks like. That spread looking not too bad, though, right now.
Yeah, there's no way. I don't think TKO should be up that much. It seems strange to me because they go from the USA Network or something to Netflix. I don't know what network they were on. Does USA Network even exist still? I don't know. I think SmackDown is on Fox and all that. So I don't know. I just don't know if that gives them 20% more revenue or earnings power, I guess. It's up 20%. The price is up, it's up 20%. So PE ratio is going to have to get adjusted there. I think that's too much of a move.
They also added The Rock on the board.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I think it's a short. I like when you get in things like that, I don't know. But okay, so anyways, if you're gonna look at Netflix, you see Netflix pulled back off that deal as well a little bit. But again, going into earnings, I feel like it's a little silly to trade this name today, so I won't be on it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. So to sit here and look at this and say, you know, I like this level or that, I don't. I don't like any levels here. I'm not gonna trade it. But heading into earnings, I feel like you're primed for a beat again. Like we've bouncing off the 50 period. I don't know if analysts know something, but it's definitely holding its weight here. And I think you're looking for a breakthrough 500. I think if you add 6 or 7 points tomorrow to Netflix, you know, 10% on 500 is $50. So maybe 520 area or something tomorrow. I think that's a reasonable option to hold. So we'll wait to see what happens with Netflix today. It is strange, though. I agree with Brendan, dropping this the day before earnings, which seems a little strange. But why not get the news out there? TKO probably wanted it out, as you can see what that's doing to their stock price.
All right, let's go on to Rivian announcing a new vice president of, what is it, product management? Picking up former Apple and Porsche exec. And I think it's going to be all about this. You and I were just discussing earnings to come for Rivian, but this R2 platform announcement, and remember CEO RJ promised a preview of the R2 platform, the smaller, more affordable, less tech, you know, more of a wide appeal for Rivian. So they've picked up this new exec to basically head the launch of that. We were just saying this 1550 area looking pretty good for Rivian.
Yeah, clear support at 15, formerly resistance. Go back and look at the daily chart. You'll be able to see that quite clearly. The R2 platform going to be super interesting. It's going to move Rivian down into the category of possibly mass production here with something a little bit less expensive than a $100,000 car. How many different types of cars are going to build on this platform is yet to be seen. We're supposed to get a preview in 2024 with production starting in 2026. So lots of unanswered questions with Rivian.
Yeah, he was even pointing to Q1 for the first time that we see the R2. So I haven't seen a date specifically yet, but hopefully soon, guys, for Rivian.
Yes, sir. And like you said, that 15 level, that's the key one. You've already bounced away from it, so I think I'm looking at the top end of its recent range here today. But you like when previous resistance turns into support. It gives you an area, an anchor to buy off of. You already made a big run yesterday. You saw the same thing as the Tesla chart, like breakout early and then gave most of it back. The difference between Rivian and Tesla, Rivian held that breakout price. Like it broke out from about 1560 and it held that in the afternoon. So I think you've got that to work with as well. You can see I've marked off 1720. I think that's your resistance today. I don't know if you can punch through that today. It's a bit of ways away from it, so it might be like an early pop and fade, I suppose, off that level. And then if it can trend above it like late in the day, maybe I'd look for it then. Otherwise, like I said, the difference between Rivian and Tesla is it actually held that breakout price. So I think you look at that 1575, you look at that 16 close, that gives you a couple of legs to look for some potential dip buys. I don't think they're necessarily out of the clear in the long term, at least in terms of the next couple of quarters. It could still be a rough year for them overall, but you found a bit of a temporary bottom with which to work off of. Obviously, I'm in Fisker at the dollar level for reasons stated, but Rivian's, it's on watch every single day. It's just a little further away from the key levels that I like today.
So Rivian is exactly at those key levels like Neil was saying, down here at 1550. If they didn't get an upgrade yesterday, they're going to get one soon. Bouncing off these levels is what the analysts are looking for. So I expect an upgrade for Rivian. I expect this thing to trade like near $19 probably in the next week or so. Let's just see if it can get that. Again, me and Brendan talked about this on, oh yeah, by the way, we have something called a podcast. Go check that out where we discussed Rivian. And I really like the new generation there of this, sort of trimmed down truck. I think that, getting more affordable for them is what they want to do. Amazon also going to buy the trucks, the delivery vehicles. So I like Rivian. It's finally got absolutely kicked. I mean, Rivian's down it was down $9 on 24. So down about 35% in 3 weeks. Pretty brutal. I think it's investable probably at these levels. Unfortunately, my chart isn't loading back up, but these levels should hold down here at 15. The best part about buying 1650 is if you get nervous, you're out for 10% out. and you don't have to worry about it if we break 15. So I feel like these are good investable levels here for Rivian. So let's see where we go on this one.
Guys. The rundown this morning brought to you by our friends over at TradeLog. It's tax season again. Yay. TradeLog empowers traders with tools and education to take control of your taxes. Learn how you can get started for free. Save 20% on your subscription at tradelog.com/tradertv. Everybody has to do them. What's that saying? Death and taxes. The only thing that's certain in life. Go save 20% on your taxes this year, or getting them done. Anyways, Rumble and DWAC, bottom of the list. Which one do you want to talk about here? We've kind of dissected Rumble quite a bit this morning. I mean, the volume is still really impressive. Over 7 million shares traded this morning. Yeah,
Brendo. I mean, I can talk about DWAC, but it's going to be from a technical perspective because, well, we all know what the True Social app is. It hasn't really changed. With respect to Rumble, the reason it's running second day is what you mentioned earlier today, which is these new tools for creators. It's going to basically simplify the live streaming experience, allowing creators to easily stream videos on multiple platforms like we do here on YouTube. You'll be able to stream live on Twitch, Rumble, other sites as well. So kind of streamlines that process for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You guys tell us. Should we branch out and give you more options as to where you can watch? Because the cool thing about this, guys, is, as I was saying earlier, you can use their studio product and stream to Twitch, stream to YouTube, stream to Rumble, all at the same time. So it's not, you're not restricted just to one platform, which is really cool.
Yeah, I guess Brendan has a couple more things on his plate now, which is good to see for him. So yeah, I think we should. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer.
Why not? What's the reason not to? Is
yeah, we're already long.
You need to hear the negatives. So I don't really negatives. There's only 3 minutes. 3 minutes to go here. Sorry, 4 minutes to go. Very quickly. You can see the daily chart, 550. That's where I'm lined. That's where I'm looking on Rumble, and then you've got the 580, which Sean's already in. So you go back to the daily chart. That's where you can find some pretty key levels. If it carries back into 550, I like that dip. DWAC, just very quickly, DWAC is still battling the $50 level since yesterday in the afternoon. No real bids in front of it. Every time it's broken, it's immediately rejected. If it fails at the open, the 50 level, Funware is making a push to the upside late here. So I'm looking at 50 Funware and 50 DWAC simultaneously. And if this presses into 50 cents and DWAC fails 50, I probably look for a fade trade on Funware at 50 cents. I'd just rather short that than take a shot shorting DWAC. Thank you very much, Rob.
All right. Yeah, Bitcoin is a train wreck right now, 38.70, but still going to the downside. Yeah, we're already long Rumble, but the thing is that we don't want to be long for too long. If we break $5, then we are gone. And we do have an offer right now at 6.30, so we're out of a third. We're going to look to see if we can get some more damage done on Rumble, hopefully to the long side. And then if we have to, so I am bidding 540. So that's on the sticky note. It's a good level there for me. Yeah, not much really changing on here. Again, very, very buy side. That's nice to see. We'll see if there's some buy side pressure here coming through. Pfizer back down to 28. That's not nice. Would have liked to see that hold 30. Rivian, we just talked about that. That's a bid down here as well. And then we already talked about Niels and Fisker. I'd watch out for that. We're breaking a buck. We already discussed it. And then Nio as well, breaking through 650 could be a trade. The one that I'm looking for is Alibaba, but often when you have a bid imbalance like this, it's been a bid the whole time. So that's sort of helped it run up a little bit. Once this gets exhausted right at 930, 931, remember it's a direct market maker down there, so it might not print exactly at 930. It's not electronic in that way, but I feel like they'll be able to pair it all off. It's already done 4 million shares, so about 10% of the float still coming with a bid. So that, or of the day's volume, that will hit. And I'm looking for a dip back into VWAP, but I want to see VWAP break maybe. Baba's on my mind, and what I'm going to be looking at first and foremost here is Alibaba.
Yeah, Baba, Nio. With 90 seconds to go, just one quick shout for Apple, which was pretty strong yesterday.
Yes.
Apple held its breakout price. They broke out at about 193 early. You can check that, maybe like 192.5. But it's pretty much at 195. I like the 193 again. You showed you in the afternoon some support down there. So if it threatens underneath go green and goes red for a bit, that's when I'd be looking to pick up some Apple. Maybe even the previous close price if it happens to turn to 194. But I am still looking for dip buys there. And with 1 minute to go, Just of note, AMD is now down 1% again. It just seems to always fade here. Yesterday was not a good day for that chip name. I have been noticing this, like it was a triple top at 48.30, it was 48.40 actually, call it, in a couple of cents there on Intel. And then the pre-market high, if you want to include 1, 2, and then the pre-market high as well. So 48.40, if there's a quick pop into that level, I'd look to fade it. The chips have been giving a little bit back lately, so they should be on our radar once again. But respect to Apple for holding up a couple of days after a lot of stocks tried to give back yesterday. 30 seconds to go here. You saw those imbalances. It's probably, I feel like it might be Nio before Alibaba for me, but either way, looking for a dip buy in those two Chinese ADRs already in Fisker. We told you the plan for Funware and DWAC, which are both very much still in play. Let's get to the DARA on this Tuesday. Let's get this party started and let's drop some bombs like Joel Embiid and his 70, which we didn't even mention. In 3, 2,
Cat
and
got
1.
62.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, Carl Anthony Towns yesterday. We're going to go long on Apple through 195.30, that whatever that pre-market high is. If we break it, we're going to go long, but we're going to go starter piece, right? I just don't want to miss Apple in case it does have its move here today. So we'll wait to see what Apple wants to do right now. But that's what I'm looking for, a breakthrough 195.30. That is the pre-market high. We'll wait to see if we can get that. And then we will look out for Alibaba, which is the other stock that's on my mind, waiting for a dip buy opportunity there.
Oh my, well, okay. Thanks a lot, Nio.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Well, I mean, obviously,
650?
sometimes we talk about this whole, well, if you like it in front of 630, just sit in the trade in the pre-market. It's not always a thing to sit in the pre-market trade. You don't see us do it very often. But there are times when that's your only
Rumble's
chance.
ripping.
That's clearly our only chance today was to sit in that one. That's a little frustrating.
All right, there's, oh, we did not get Rumble. Where's my Rumble offer? Oh, 6:30. So right now, Rumble's starting to go. Let's go, Rumble. Nice little move to the upside right now. And by the way, we got Apple long as well. As there goes Apple, it broke, man. Hit the damn sirens again. We're on one more time here today as we're flushing down the toilet. No. We're hitting the sirens right now. And by the way, Neil, thanks for that little tip on NIO, whoever that was in the chat there, because it's another one right there. Let's go, man. We're long on NIO, getting some out 63s, 64s. Apple right now, 50 cents in the money. Rumble, we did not get that 630, so let's wait to see if that happens. But it's Apple starting to go. It's Nio starting to go. And hey, man, we did it again. Thank you so much for watching. There's a couple more bangers for you. It'll be 3 for 3 to start the day. Not too shabby, but Apple is the one that's got my attention right now. And let's just see where it goes. A little piece out on the top for Apple, and then now we wait to see a little bit of a fade. Look at the market. Wow, I wasn't
The
even
market is actually
I wasn't
tanking
even
right
paying
now.
attention.
Like I'm looking for, if it's a Chinese ADR is fine, but I'm actually looking for a couple of places to fade if this market wants to continue lower. I liked Intel to the short side. You're going to see it's already breaking that 48 instead of giving us 48.40. We talked about AMD already. Tesla broke upside that 212 level. Unfortunately, did not get the fill on the breakthrough, was also trying to grab Nio. You saw that as well, trying to grab Nio. Fisker broke the dollar, got out 99s. If it holds, I said no immediate reverse. Immediate reverse was in the afternoon. If it comes back and that ends up a wick 98, I'd look to re-enter above $1. As we're headed to a DARA, BABA's starting to hold this 93 level as well. So you're getting a little bit of a bounce here in Alibaba. Let's go to the desk.
Yeah, P&G here, Procter & Gamble, really strong right off the open. Nice push of volume. We did get earnings on this one. Q2 earnings beat, reiterating a $9 billion dividend payout, raising the outlook. Just a good look all around for P&G, up almost 5% in the day, guys.
Good job for P&G there. Look at Rumble, man. That's so funny. Like, I was like, oh, we're going to get it. It went to 628. We were at 630. Let's wait to see if Rumble can do anything. So right now, there goes Apple, man. We are pretty happy with the move early and then not happy late as it's coming back in right now into that view up of 194.90 again. I do have a bid a lot lower than this, but we're going to buy something here on Apple. Again, we are not going to, like, lose our whole everything on one trade early, so that's not going to happen as we wait to see what Apple's going to do back down into 194. That's really, for me, the area of concern, kind of like the pre-market bottoms. But if you zoom back out, and I'm just talking about it because I'm going to trade this name, so 193.50 is where I'm really looking to do some damage here for Apple. If it breaks through that, then we're in trouble. But look at what the market's doing, still breaking lower. There's a good little dip buy opportunity there as we still stay long on Apple.
Oh my goodness! I said I was gonna find a short, and then Tesla 212 happened. It was the same thing as yesterday. Tesla popped at 212. I did miss the break there. We're trying to get NIO, but grabbed it on the way back in. Quick scalp trade out in front of 213, and then I'm shooting for 215. This is like yesterday I got out early. Today, if I get it at 215, that's too early. I don't care because the market is headed to the downside right now. And yesterday it rejected this break. Fisker could not get back above the dollar level, so I play the over-under game at that dollar, which means I like it in either direction. Long was working, and then it broke. Once it breaks, I want to see can it immediately regain. If it doesn't, short 98. Basically the same thing as yesterday. I got a little bit of a better price yesterday. Though Boeing, we talked about Boeing and UAL. Boeing, no 217 break, as you can see, so Boeing's still under pressure. That's got to calm down and be patient, it seems like, as BABA, there's really no dip in BABA to take whatsoever. It's just absolutely flying. I guess we're going to see that 74 break first.
Yeah, we are. We're definitely got some actionable trades. Look at NIO ripping. Yes, sir. Wow. N to the I to the O, man. This is a monster. Wow, this is a monster right here. It doesn't take many trades. It just takes good ones, and this was a good one there for NIO. Look at this thing continuously going. We're long at 650. We talked about a 650 break. There it is. We have 650. That's the trade we wanted. We actually missed the break. We had to get it coming back in on that one. Thank you to Neil and to everybody in the chat there that brought that up. That was a good one. We're happy for it for sure. Our biggest winner there today is going to be NIO. Apple's not a winner. We got long and then we got a couple outs up there as it tipped back up. But for right now, yeah, man, we have to wait on Apple and see if we can get this going somewhere else. So right now, Apple, nice little move, trying to make a move back higher here through 195. We'll try to absorb that kind of a trade coming up right now with Apple. But other than that, yeah, you're right about Alibaba there. A little bit of a mover. Let's check out Palantir. We didn't discuss this much today. 1750. We got to do some work on this before I just head over to it. So nice move down 0.5, a little bit more than the market here. As Palantir continues to make a move. Yeah, I think you got to wait for this 1680, 17. The thing is, when you look at the market and we're doing what we're doing, very, very difficult, in my opinion, to sit there and trade this market to the long side when you're having this kind of a move down. So let's just be careful. We know we want Apple strength, but we probably should be finding some shorts now as the market's below and below 17.5. I think that's
when
also
looking for shorts.
Maybe Shopify. Oh, yeah, Affirm. I need to go right over to Affirm.
Well, it's
Affirm
semi setting up here. I only have the one, obviously. I am on the bid of Apple. That could come into play very quickly. Tesla did just get to 215.
Rip Apple.
But if we're going to get back into the downside on Affirm, pre-market highs is probably the first level I'm going to look at. It's always something to watch. I would have liked an even dollar, but I don't think you're going to get an even dollar here. Alibaba just backed off the 74. So here comes the potential pullback. 74 was that big resistance level. First pullback available. Pre-market highs was at 73.3. If it holds a bid there, look to take those stairs back into the upside.
All right.
Oh, shoot. DWAC 50.
Oh, my God. And Apple is Rip City as well. Back up to the upside here. Man, we on one today again, guys. This is going to be another great, great day here for us. Rumble back up. Nio back up. We're going to go 3 for 3 here, and it's cash. So, so far, so good there. As Neil just talks about DWAC. Oops, DWAC. I like that 51 area right there. But, yeah, I guess a little bit of a fail there. 48 and change for DWAC.
It's literally whacked. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to use that pun. That's
Too
a
late.
terrible one. It's whacked that 50 level. Okay, fine, last time. 3 times, including the pre-market, and then failed it. I said I was going to short Funware, but the new position alert was obviously just now Alibaba on that dip. I talked about that pre-market top. We just went long on that dip into the 74 level as we're going to Adara at the desk.
Small cap making a really nice move here. Solid Power, SLDP, up about 15% after announcing a $50 million share repurchase authorization. So good look for SLDP.
LDP, okay. We'll have a good look there as well. Yeah, DWAC
Solid
48.
stock.
Yeah, solid stock, solid. Where are we ripping to here on Apple? Oh man, it's too bad. Hold on a second. Let me just zoom this out. I didn't realize how bad our charts were right there. Okay, well they're pretty bad. So we'll look at it now. Here we go. So 195 and change. I mean, let's just be perfectly honest where we'd like to get this stock. I think we could take out day's high. I don't really want to get out of this anymore. We do have protection down here. I'm going to use 194.20 or so as my out. I mean, we are starting to come back up to the upside. If we break below anything like that, then we might as well just get out. We'll try another reload down here, but then a break. Let's use 194, I guess. We don't have to go all the way down there. So a break a little bit lower than that, and we'll find ourselves in and out of trouble. So let's see if that can happen for us there on Apple, if we get any dip buy opportunities. The one thing that we hadn't looked at yet today was AMD. I mean, we don't have any chip names right now. Let's have a quick look and see.
Weak.
Yeah, are they weak again? Okay. Yeah, 166. Here comes AMD, though, a nice move back up. As the market's trying to go, we really need Apple to go. That would be really nice if Apple could go there. But AMD on a nice move back up, trying to take out VWAP. Watch out for a break, honestly. 168.50. You might think that's far away now, but 167 trying to get stronger here is AMD.
Yeah, trying to get stronger like the Chinese ADRs because they're already strong. 8% on Alibaba, 10% is going to be somewhere in the $75 range. So if we get to 75, Baba's already had a day if it gets there, but you're testing that 74. It's resistance till it ain't. Looking for the dips at 73.5. DWAC is doing this dance with the 50 level. It just wicked 50 and came back underneath. So you know what I said about that 50 level? I might have missed my chance, but if I can get anything tight to the high on Funware, if DWAC's under 50, I said I would play a fail of the break of the high of the day on Funware up to the 50 cent level on Funware.
All right, boom.
If that goes to $50, we got issues.
So Funware and Rumble, very similar trades here, and there goes Rumble, nicely done again. We averaged it back in at 60. We just got it out at 95, so that's going to be pretty decent trade there for us on Rumble to go long and then to get out. We'll see if it now can get back up. We're still waiting at 630 for that fill. Let's be right this time and get that fill, okay? So that's what we're looking at right now on that one. I want to check in on Google here a little bit. Google's actually up today, so we got some good strength happening in this name. We like to trade stocks that are relatively strong. So here comes Google, man. It made that bottom at 145, and now it's upside. I still wonder about that fade, but look at the market. The market's trying to push VWAP again. So this is not necessarily a name that we want to short right here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 for 3. The 3 trades that we have on for you again today. And again, welcome to the fun. You know, this is what professional trading is looking like. Three winning trades. Apple, nice long right there. Nio. Again, beautiful, and these were all discussed. Rumble's on the sticky note for sure. I mean, obviously, you guys can go find that right there. That's going to be a good one. Apple's on there. And then Nio was the Chinese ADR that we chose. It broke 650. We talked about that in the pre-market, how much we liked that level. I missed it, went over to it, was able to get 51. So pretty lucky to get that fill as well. But it's NIO right now starting to go back up to the upside. So we'll go 3 for 3 and have a pretty successful morning right there. We can check out 38.6. I just want to check out what Mara was because we had the plan of action on Mara as well. You see that 1550? Wow. There it is, man. We talked about that level, but it held. So no worries on that. 30 cents now in the money on Apple, and we'll wait to see what happens there. I don't have any bids other than down there near 194 now. So hopefully this will continue to climb higher, and we'll be able to get out on the high side. My next offer is in the 30s here for Apple, but we are having a problem. I'm going to get a piece out right now. There it is. We'll get another piece out at 19s and see where we go. But Apple, Nio, and Rumble, so far so good.
Saved by the bell if you went long this sucker.
Yeah.
This is one of those trades. We talked about this a couple of days ago, and shout out to everyone in the chat that was in it. When you have a gap fill like this, first day might show you the level, and it showed it right to you at the 840, but it's already broken 840. You're heading to the $9 level. If you missed the first trade, what do you think about next? The stair step to the upside. It's already made one leg. You're at the $9 level. Look for the next step up. It's a gigantic gap on save. There's lots of room for that to run higher. I think it could easily see $10, and it seems like a crazy move, but in context, it really isn't with that gap fill. So you're still battling the 74 level here on Alibaba. The buyers haven't really stepped in above it. Do not love that look. I wanted to see break out, and then hold a higher low, break out the next top. That hasn't happened just yet, so I won't be jumping into that. We did grab, I won't be jumping into the reload unless I see some more strength. We did grab the short. I missed 47s and got 46.5 here in Funware. Probably won't bid until we get down to 45-ish, as that is the rejection of 50 on DWAC. So I'm eyeballing DWAC at 50 the whole time. These chip names, AMD's having a rough one, everybody. But it just made a nice little bounce here. Down 1%. You held 165 pretty decently. Now a chance for it to stair step to the upside. So this is now a double bottom from yesterday with a chance to break out that top. 164 stands out like an absolute sore thumb, looking a little bit better than like Intel. So if you're looking for a long off the bottoms, I'm probably picking this as my chip name. Haven't looked at NVIDIA just yet, but look at Intel. Like Intel's only to the downside.
I wish we had, I was thinking about the same thing here. I wish we had some more short ideas right now. So I'm just going to try to cash out of Apple right now. And it's a little bit of a cash out just in that format, meaning like I'm just taking profits. Like I still think Apple can go, but I'm a little bit nervous here because we did have a nice move right back to VWAP, and it seems like here on the NASDAQ we're failing it. So there's the move back down. So I am trying to be as cautious as possible here with some of these trades. We only have 20% of NIO left, but let's do the same thing here and try to get a piece out at 69, 68. Okay, see now we wait for this and we're not going to get filled probably, but that's okay. Maybe we will. We're trying to get it. So right now we'll wait to see what happens here with NIO. No, we did not get it. We're going to be at 69 on that play and see if we can get that. Apple's still there, Rumble's still there. So what else, man? Oh yeah, Affirm. I want to look at that. I was just saying, like I want to get short something, so we should be looking at Affirm if that is the case. Whoosh. Darn, we just talked about that up at this level, but there goes Affirm. Nice downside move. Congratulations, anybody that at least did what I was, or maybe both of us were talking about, shorting that. Did you get it? No, so we should have shorted that right now. I know you were long Fisker, now short, now fun's happening. So lots happening in this market, needless to say.
Yeah, so it was a Funware thing. DWAC was the next setup for me. So Fisker, just a quick, I just got my first fill there, 98 short, first fill 96. It's not very creative, 2 cents from a buck. 2 cents in the other direction, that goes to 1-to-1. And I want to respect where it closed at that 92. It closed at 92 and got up to 94 in the aftermarket, so I want to take fills there. If it gets all the way to 87, remember that was yesterday's low. The short was no better than that. Funware on the DWAC move, so failed its high, just got into 44, got 46.5. I just took some out at 45. I should probably take another leg out as well on Funware. It's starting to bounce off VWAP. But DWAC, on the other hand, fails the 50. You're not really seeing as big of a drop in Funware, but down 10%. This is now SSR. So DWAC just went short sell restricted. That's another reason to get a little bit more out there on that Funware move, because if DWAC starts bouncing and ripping because it's SSR, I want to make sure we grab some more profit on Funware. Sniffed it out on Alibaba that there wasn't enough strength to hold on to the breakout price, so it went 73.5 into 74, couldn't carry through, elected not to reload because the strength wasn't there, and you're starting to come back in. Now we can be patient looking for the next available dip buy as we go back to the desk for the DAR.
Another earnings name getting a nice move to the upside here. Raytheon Technologies, RTX, up about 8% after posting an earnings beat and expectations within the range of what was expected here. So really nice look for RTX.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday on the after show. Good move there for RTX. Unfortunately, we chased Nio all the way down and missed it all the way. So, we have to get that to pop up a little bit to get that fill at some point there. Good couple outs there on Rumble as we're starting to get back into that. There we go. We just got a 540 fill. So that's the fill that we wanted on Rumble. Now let's see where it goes from here. We're going to be out if it breaks 5. You know, unfortunately, some of these stocks, they don't work every day all the time the same way you expect them to. So we'll have to see now if Rumble wants to bounce off that. We're long right here at 551. So it's, you know, it's still well, you know, in the pocket here for us. And if you're nervous about this Rumble trade, you can get out now for flat, basically. So that's something that you might want to look at right here. I don't know what area code is 845, but they're calling me right now. So shout out to anybody there in the 845 right now. Holla, yeah.
I have no idea.
I have no idea either. We're still in the money on this Apple trade. I'm going to take a piece out right here at 88 if we're able to. Okay, we got it. That's small, but we'll I do feel like obviously this market is coming back in to the downside here. So a little bit of a worry spot for me with that. So we'll take some more out on Apple, but there it goes right back up to the upside. So it looks like all good there. Nio is falling down, and we should have taken some shorts. And I just put an offer on Google. This one fell down again. We were looking at it, we liked it, but I guess we didn't like it enough there for Google, as we should have shorted it up there at 147. But we'll wait for it. Still lots to happen here today. The market's still pretty young.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of a flush here. DWAC, we saw DWAC failing that 50 level. It just pushed a little further down to 42. So when that happened, he broke VWAP here on Funware. It just got to the 43. Obviously, 40 cents is a big fat round number, so I am going to get something out in front of that 40 level. Whether there's size there or not, it almost doesn't matter. Fisker is well starting to fade a little bit further. AMD's oddly strong still. So those two shorts, again, they're small cap stocks, but AMD's taking the stairs up. This is the best morning it's had yesterday. I mean, obviously, that was a dumpster fire yesterday at the open for AMD. Still holding higher lows. The market just held the bottom. I'll look at VWAP here. If you're going to take the stairs up, give me the next step. It could be 67. It could be 166. Just going to have to be patient here. I don't want to necessarily be buying breakouts at the high of the day. I want to be patiently finding some kind of an entry off the next support level. It's only 950. You got plenty of time to run. Fisker now at that 94-cent level. We got out. It wasn't an instant reverse. If you went instant reverse, it would have been exactly the same thing. I probably would have shorted 99s instead of 98, but it tried to make that initial bounce, faded, got the 98s after a couple of minutes, and then missed a reload after it failed the $1 level. Now you're at that 94. What do we got here going on? I know there's this ADM.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about this yesterday, and I didn't even think about this being somewhat of a stable name. Archer Daniels was SSR today.
All right.
For an SSR, oh my goodness, for an SSR bounce, because that basically bounced off yesterday's close and is going to the upside. When a stock is down over 10%, it's short sell restricted. If it happens to be a relatively stable name, sometimes that can be a solid long off the open. Didn't even consider that for ADM, but it would have worked for you. Hopefully someone's got the SSR bounce play. That's what we talked about it every single day. It is a good setup if you can find a nice entry with good risk to reward.
Yeah, that's really all that this game is about the risk and reward there. So I'm going to put another offer at Apple. We're bouncing off VWAP right now at 10s. The market has rebounded nicely, so I like that one. Are we getting closer to our Google short or what? 146.50 there. I still kind of like that one. SMH moving around as well. That made a nice recovery backside there. SMH 187. Hold on a second here. The reason why I'm talking about the SMH, obviously, as we look at the different options that we have as far as what to trade. A 188 right there. So we were talking about AMD a little bit and where that strength was lying. So let's have a quick look at AMD. Yeah, there it goes, breaking through 168. Remember, I was like, watch out for 168. It just came in right now. We should have gone long, but we didn't. So here it goes. Nice move up for AMD. What's NVIDIA doing? Back down in near 6, still below 600. I'm still looking for some names here that are hitting like some key levels or something. SoFi might, okay. So
SoFi?
No, SoFi's tanking right now. People wanted me to look at this earlier. SoFi with a pretty, I'm saying tanking. It's
Oh, it's not.
when you
that's
get
a tank.
there's a minute, you get about 10 red candles and 1 green one. Tank or not, it's going to the downside right now is SoFi. So watch out for this one. Continuously lower there. Trying to make a move, but back down into 780. Was there news or something? Because SoFi was up today, pretty good, up to 830 in the pre-market.
I'll tell you what the problem is.
That was way down there. No, that's not good.
Well, I'm speculating at the problem here with SoFi. Look at the 830 level when you pull back a 15-minute chart. Like it goes from big support right around the 8-quarter range to resistance, and then yesterday resistance. This is the thing about trading stocks when they find bids above key prices. When the buyers don't step up above the quarter, no need to be long there, wait for a dip. It's the same reason why I got out of Alibaba and didn't reload it, because it got to the 74 level, no buyers stepped in above that price, and then it fell back in. Look for the next trade. So I think that's what, if I had to guess what's going on, that's what I would guess. So 73 actually holding here for Alibaba. Just one update. Fisker just got down to 93. There was a big bid at 93, size bid, so I took 2 outs instead of 1 on Fisker. And AMD, which I keep saying is looking strong, Okay, the buyers weren't there at the 68 level. I was bidding 169 when it bounced off VWAP here, but now that 68's rejected, I'll look for an entry. I don't mind going long above 168 if I have to, but again, I need to see buyers above that particular price. DWAC's recovering to 45, so I'm going to take another leg out of Funware. But it's AMD, if it can really just hold bids above 168, that looks pretty solid. Can't believe we're saying that. It's almost green.
Yeah, exactly. The market is very, very resilient in the chip names. We're going to go over to a payment processor and go to Square. I don't know. I just want to find something that might be near its day's bottom right there that was still positive. So that's something that I was looking for. You know, a name that was going to be positive in the account and, you know, near the bottom. So we'll try to pick up some strength now because we've taken out VWAP right here. So if we lose this 70, we'll be gone out of this. We're only long now at 92. I think it's well in the pocket, well worth all the risk here for this name. Not overly worried at all about this position, but we do have an out. If it does go against us, we're going to try to get a little bit more there at 78, and then my target out is 70 if we do break lower. So a new position alert. We'll do it like this. It's Square. We just missed getting many more shares down there, but it was 78. Basically those wick bottoms. So here we go. Nice little move back up to the upside with my new favorite quarterback, Dak Prescott. Thank you so much, Dak, for giving Jordan Love the opportunity to shine, which was very kind of Dak. So thank you for that. But yeah, here comes Square. Again, we'll take, what are we long at, 92? Let's take like out 5% or so at O's right there. So we'll spin the money again for you guys on that trade and then just see where we go. We're going to go right now. I mean, Rumble, position pending on Rumble. We could go 4 for 4, man. Let's see if Nio can continue to go upside. And then Apple, we just got VWAP on Apple. And I don't plan on averaging into this one too much more, guys. So let's go. We've got Square on our mind right now. I'll take another out at 03 if we can get it. And then after that, we have an 09er looking to get filled. So far, so good. And there goes AMD, man. We talked about that one. She now green on the day. Is it, wow. Why?
It's flying.
Oh, 168. Sean.
I didn't get the break. I'm like, how far am I chasing this? The question at this point is how badly, or like where to start working. And I'm bidding in the 50 and 70 range. And again, I don't think you go full there because I think 68 is the out. Red to green was at 168.18. And that's where I tried the break. That's too late. Should have just taken the even dollar break. And you get cute with the previous close. Well, the dollar level breaks and then floats up. And then when it takes the next level up, I actually missed it. But AMD is looking pretty darn strong. And we talked about a firm to the south side. I see the problem with shorting a pop, as you know, is if a stock doesn't go up, then you're not going to get an entry point. This market is bouncing here. So shorting a firm at the lows as the market is bouncing off the lows doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense to me. I know it's trending to the downside. Have to allow it to come back a little bit to try to grab that short. That's just insane. Yeah, sometimes it's like you got to be sitting. We talk about this. Like sometimes you just have to be sitting in that trade. It doesn't do a lot of pre-market volume, but if you just sat in it off the 46, like clearly it would have worked. There's something there to a firm when it's trading like that, where it might just be worth it. Like if it does what it does yesterday, you just stop out at the pre-market high. That's fine. You risk about 30 cents on it. But when it goes down, that's $1.50 that it already fell. Maybe tomorrow I'll actually sit in this thing pre-market.
Oh, man. We are now 4 minutes away from Richmond Fed Manufacturing, so we'll get that from Adara at 10 o'clock, and that should be a ripper as well. I don't know what it's going to do to the market, but it should affect it.
Who came from Richmond?
Generally, is that Wire?
No, that was the game.
Oh, the game. Okay. I don't know anything about that. We'll wait, but I'm just looking to see. I'm not really into anything. I'm just into the same stuff, man. I'm only long, so I'm a little bit skeptical here of these long positions. So let's just wait to see if something can come in for us. Again, okay, Rivian. Rivian was, okay, you know what? Let's look at Tesla. We talked about Netflix and hadn't even looked at it yet. We'll look at Netflix in a minute. Tesla bouncing off that 10 level, didn't even get down to 08. We started the day at 10. We ripped up, we ripped up to 15s. I have to watch Tesla every single day. the way this thing moves gives you such crazy opportunities off the jump. I'm going to have to do a little bit more work there to study that, because there's a lot of opportunity. And then look at this fade right back down again into that 216. So it does turn out to hit the 200 period, it looks like here roughly on the 20-minute chart. So watch out for 216 again. You can see it did top out there a couple times before, 215.50 or so on Tesla, as that continues to look pretty interesting there to trade. So Tesla off the 20-minute chart there up to 216 could be a shortable opportunity back there for everybody as well. So that's just Tesla, and it's making some moves again. Rumble, we're waiting for $5 to break and/or some kind of news to hit here, or people to get excited again for it. We are baselining right now on Rumble. This, I think you could either punch longer here at 550 if you really like the story. I think it could go off of this baseline, or you're looking for a break lower. I'm just going to use 5 flat as this trade, but I'm not into it super heavy, although we've averaged in. This is not my main area of looking at right now. Like, I don't know, I'm just not super excited about it. So if it does get going, then fine. But I'm looking at Apple. You guys know that we have Square and so on and so forth.
So I just took an out on Fun where someone was asking, is anyone trading Fun? Well, Fun reversed when DWAC reversed the $50 level. So I grabbed the short, but look at the double tap of 42. 42 at the open was the bottom, 42 when we got this last fill at 43, 42 wick the bottom, so 42 once again, now a triple bottom on Funware. If it breaks this, I think you're headed to 40. If it holds it, I probably need to get out because it's an upward trending stock. See, upward trending stock. You may get a nice little top there, but it could easily continue to go. So watching that pretty closely. AMD just pulled back into the halves. So this is, we said we look for something out in front of that 168. All these crazy dark pool wicks. Sorry, guys. So it pulled another, like there's a break and there's a consolidation. So it took like the low and the consolidation, looking for it to break out the 169 again. Take something out at the high of the day and then see if we can grip and rip and continue to go. We said Affirm, wait patiently for it to pop. Affirm has decided it doesn't care.
Really?
Yeah,
it's Affirm.
I'm not shorting this at the bottom. Whatever. Maybe the market is holding green right now. You would think there's going to be some kind of a bounce, and patience is a virtue. When this stock starts to go, it can really have a lot of short covering on it. Let's get to the desk. We've got happening now. And whatever the number you said was.
Richmond Fed Manufacturing just came in here. So for the index, it's -15, exactly in line with the forecast of -15, slightly lower than consensus of -7. For the manufacturing shipments index, -15 versus the forecast of -20, so slightly higher than that forecast. For the Fed Services Index, where we have an actual number of 5 versus the forecast of -5 here. So that is the Richmond Services Index. Slightly positive on the day. The SPY not reacting too much to that number. A little bit of a subdued moment here after 3 days to the upside, making all new highs yesterday as well for the SPY. Certain names on watch here. A lot of these Chinese ADRs, including Billy, BILI, really strong on reports from Bloomberg that China is considering a $278 billion, that's US dollar, stabilization plan for its stock market amidst a crisis there. We also have UAL on watch here, United Airlines, after reporting an earnings beat. So lots of names here to keep an eye on as we head into the rest of the day, guys.
All right, there is lots of names. We just, unfortunately, it's going to come out, but we actually, Square went all the way, like on that Fed manufacturing number there. Square just went upside, so we were able to get our shares there at 75. We just lost it at 70, but just a little bit of in and out there on Square. I wish we would have been able to get it to you, but that's okay. Back and forth there on Square, as now it's trying to jump up and down again. So at a pretty key level, watch out for the futures. I actually still like Square here. I'm going to buy a little bit more off this level. I want to be wrong, like not number related here. So let's just be very, very careful. That move down, and I'm not going to get stubborn about this. Just want to make sure we didn't get stopped out on that Fed manufacturing number. So we took some profit. We're going to wait for it. Futures still hovering around flat here on the day and just trying to break through VWAP. So if we're wrong, we'll dump it. I just don't think we are yet. So Square breaking back down below. I want to wait for it to break below 60s here on SQ, and then we'll get out. Let's try to marry this one just a little bit more than we have. So Square breaking back below 66.60 is what I want to wait for now.
Yeah, I might have waited too long on Alibaba, which is a problem. I went over to AMD. I'll get there in a second, but Baba might take out this high. At least it's attempting to take out this top. That 74 level should have just been on the VWAP when it reclaimed it. Well, I'll look back for the pre-market breakout price we had earlier, 73.5 on a dip. I want to go dip buy hunting here. AMD, we did a similar scalp play where it broke, got to 69, pulled back, got to 50s, got back to 69, took some profit. Now we're going to look to see if I can't get to 68. If it can't maintain holding higher lows, then I'll probably jump out underneath 68 and then look for the next available trade. So I just got the dip buy again in AMD. It's strong relative to yesterday. It's strong relative to the few chip names that I was looking at, but it's got some resistance at that 169. NVIDIA, in course, is actually trying to bounce as well. NVIDIA's got a 600 resistance. If we get to that, that's probably worth a trade, but AMD is the one I'm looking at. Might take an L on this reload here, but the AMD is battling green to red, red to green over and over. I think if it gets to 169 again, it should have a chance to go. ADM short Gotti. I'm not thinking about Archer Daniels Midland for a short. If anything, that was an SSR bounce. So when it gaps down like this and holds double bottom, you're still close enough to the low that I'm not sure I'd be thinking short on that stock just yet. But I haven't traded it, so take that with a grain of salt.
Man, I'm glad we stuck with Square. That one is really, really paying off right now as we did get stopped out of it. We talked about that, but I feel like I should cancel my stops when we have those numbers. But at the same time, it's like if the numbers keep going to the downside there, then you're like, oh man, I didn't get it out when there was a number. So yeah, pretty good movement here on Square. Obviously back up to the upside. So we'll wait to see if that keeps going. Rumble not doing anything. Nio honestly still here.
PayPal's running.
It's funny that you mentioned that. Yeah, well, PayPal has their event. Is it running finally?
Yeah, it's
I mean, that would
running
be
into
good
the
for
event.
Square. So 65, it's on the 25th is the event. So we still have a couple days for that to go, obviously. But there it is, nice move for PayPal. And I mean, we're already on Square. Square going to be one of the top stocks for me here today because it is still going. So that's going to be a nice little look there for Square. Hopefully it will continue its upside move as we just went long. We did get stopped out, man. We talked about that. And then we bought it right back upside, and now you're hitting the 200 period moving average. And this is a big winner, man. This is up to $16, $17. Let's just hold the rest. We're out of half only of Square. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Here it goes, man. This is a money-making trade right now on SQ. So good job to stick with that. Let's just see if it pays off, pay dirt, a little bit higher than this. So we'll get another out at 20, and then see if we can keep climbing here on Square.
Yeah, first dip buy good AMD, second dip buy no. It just failed that 168 level. So in, out, try to get it. It wasn't exactly flat on the reload. We lose about 15, 20 cents on the reload. But now I got to think about VWAP. Like, I still like this trending to the upside. It's just got to show me a better bid next time through. Still hanging in with these pieces of, well, okay, fine. They're not pieces of junk, but these two penny stocks. Still working to the downside is Fisker. It just made another push into 92s. I grabbed some 95s when I saw a buyer out there, and it looked like it was breaking that low heading to VWAP where I was going to reshort it. So I got some out, was looking for reshort that one at 98, and it headed right back into the low. Same thing going on there with Funware, where that is hit enter twice, continuing to the downside. It just broke that 40, headed into the 38 level. Now respect where it closed at 36. Speaking of which, if it bounces off its previous close price, that 36 level, I'm just going to jump out of Funware. It was all about DWAC at 50, failing the 50 level, and then once that happened, jump on over to Funware, and then these start to come back in. If you trade DWAC off the 50 level, it's probably the same trade, but one of them has better liquidity than the other. And I don't have to tell you guys which one that is.
Oh, man. Okay, so 50 cents there. We did get a reload on Apple, and we just got it out there as well. But watch out for this market coming back in just a little bit here. We definitely want to watch out for this 194 area for Apple. I'm trying to play it back to VWAP, but we've already broken below that. So I don't know, man. I want to be long until we break 194. So looking for some dip buy opportunities. Hopefully we can find those here in Apple, and I think that we're going to. So we'll get that opportunity here. And if we get it, it's going to be 194. First load up is right here, like 194.30s or so on Apple. So let's just put a bid there, a couple hundred shares, something like that, down there into 194.30, and then we'll see if it holds that 194. But so far, so good as it's trying to go back up to the upside here. That is Apple. Square. We got more pieces out here at 25. Maybe it will run up. Apple, we just talked about it. Nio is in trouble, but now it's, oops, that's Rumble, sorry. Nio's back up to 58. Oh, I'm at 59, so I might take an opportunity to get this out right now, up at 58. One more break and it's fine, and I just saw Rumble there. We're getting close to being squashed out of this one right now. So unfortunately, we had a nice run early, long, and out. Long again on that dip and then out. And right now our average price is 50s. So it looks like we may wind up taking a 50-cent hit or so. Let's get a little bit more down here. We already sort of know what our plan of action is going to be. So if we're able to do that, let's do it. Did I just get filled on something? Oh, yes, we did. We got that Nio fill. So that was a good one. We did get that 59 fill there. So far, so good on that reload, or not reload, on that move back up. We should have reloaded it into VWAP. So we're just going to watch out for Square, man. Square's really ripping. That's turning out to be a great trade there for the long, and pretty happy with it. So there it goes, man. Nice move to that side.
Square moving. The market actually bouncing pretty nicely. Didn't quite get the shot I was looking for in AMD, but I want to show you, got out of somewhere, look for that bottom as it tried to hold down around its previous close. There's your wick bottom through 38. That's an easy out for me when I see that kind of a reversal candle, just punched out automatically. You got to be able to ring the register. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. The play, failing 50, able to get 46.5 all the way down to 38. We'll take that every day you can get it. Unfortunately, Alibaba again doesn't find buyers above the 74 level. So Baba rejects 74 for a second time, coming back into VWAP. This should be the VWAP bounce, or at least 73 even, that we're looking for earlier. AMD, it's back underneath that 168. It just bounced off VWAP itself. So 167 it just held. I'll take one more shot here in front of that 167. Affirm did bounce. It's not quite at VWAP just yet. But we're looking to short the pop on Affirm. It just hasn't quite gotten just far enough. I might take we'll probably see a baby entry before it gets to 44.50.
All right. All right, we're going to start. I mean, we have another new position that we're trying to do right now as well. I mean, wow, we are busy over here today. Yeah, the position that we're looking for is Google. So we're trying to go short on Google, but we do have here. I was going to go 141. No, 147. Thank you, God, that Google's not at 141 right now. Yeah, 147 and change. We'll get stopped out if it breaks higher, but we want to average into this one. It's Google. We are now short, and it's trying to make a move down. So far, so good on that one. We are a little bit out of Square as well. Rumble making a move back up. What's up, Adara?
E announcing with Rollbit a multi-million-dollar esports sponsorship deal. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Phase here to the upside, getting a nice little bit recovery here, up 80%. Penny stock announcing with Rollbit a new multi-million-dollar esports sponsorship deal here, guys.
Love them esports. Here we go. Here we go. Just got a bounce off VWAP.
Here we go,
here
Google.
in AMD. And just first short, it happened in Affirm. We got some 30s. I said we'd take something in front of that 50 level, 44.50. So we already grabbed some of that. AMD working about 20 cents in the money. Wanted 30 on the first out, given the R&R that we have. But if it's only going to go 25, then I don't want to be splitting hairs with it. I'll take some out at 1-to-1. Look to continue to scalp off 167. The futures are showing you a lot of sideways action. Like the NASDAQ wicked underneath, and since then you have a very tight range that we're playing with. If it breaks out the top, I think there's plenty of continuation. But while it's inside of the range, you got to go scalp mode.
Yeah, you gotta go sicko mode. All right, so we are right now looking more short. We just got a great fill, man. Upside there on Google, downside, we got 50s. Like, I don't know, wow, I don't know what was going on there, but it was a nice move there for Google. We actually got, I'll tell you right now, we got 55s and 51s right there. So it just made the move back up. So we will re-short this and put some more bids in the low 60s, see if we get that, and then put another bid back in the low 50s. And see if we get that right now. We'll hold it out for a higher move on Google, and if we take out that 147, I gotta make sure I put the right price in there. Yeah, I did. Then we'll get out of there. So we do have some layered bids and offers here for Google, looking to get a little bit more short, and we just got it right there at 80. So that's so far so good on the reloads, but it's making a move higher. So we'll have to watch out for it. That's going to be Google making that move a little bit now. So we'll wait for it. Square is absolute pump City right now. Let's spin that for Square, and we should probably get something out because it's getting a little aggressive here. We made a nice play on this one for sure, and it was more about just getting back into it. We got stopped out on the, well, it went up on the number first and we got some good trades. Then it came back out and we take like a 10-cent hit and then we buy it back and you could see where it's going. And this is why it's important to head over there. Like all of a sudden the net just goes way up and it's like, oh my God, what is it? And then I look over, it's Square, you got to hit that. Like we were just all the way, we just printed 67s and I missed it. So that's going to hurt a little bit. We're sitting now at 58. Hopefully one more bump up and we'll be able to get that fill for Square and then it won't be so bad. I don't know why I just don't punch out at 55 right now, but there it goes, Square. There it goes. Oh, we got it anyways. So spin it. Oh my God, all we had to do was talk about it. All right. And then now we have Google on my mind now to the short side. All right, Google. Now come back in. So we'll see if we can get a fill downside now on Google as we wait for some mid-60 prints.
A little bit of math. I never hurt anybody. All right. Save some time for Spirit Airlines trading as well. Look at this thing ride VWAP. This VWAP on my 3-minute chart here. And now it's holding the bid one more time. So, look, we never got a chance at that breakout because we didn't look at the breakout today. So you always look on to the next. AMD working. I'll get to that in a quick little second. But some buyers here at the $9 level. Okay, someone just actually got filled at 4s. I'll join that party as a 4 level. So someone just took like 11,000 shares at 4. So when someone popped back up on the offer, I'll take that as well. I'm giving this a little bit more room. Obviously, VWAP sits there at 885. I like to give it to about 880. So risk about 20 to 25 cents on this trade. It ends up being pretty much 25 cents to 880. That's a coincidence. And if it gets back to the high of the day, that'll be 1-to-1. It's trying to fill in a bit of a gap here. So I want to respect that. And the VWAP hold has been pretty good. AMD's back at 168. You know what happened the last time it got there. Like it was a nice breakthrough, but then it rejected that 68 level. You have yesterday's close sitting at 168.18. So every time it pops this level, it's trying to go green to red, red to green, all that good stuff. If it powers through, I think the trend is back into the upside. I'll cover at 169. One thing that has been working pretty decently to increase the win percentage in the last, I'd say since the middle of December, was making sure when we're range bound, I'm taking inside of the range and not getting greedy with it. Cover it all inside of the range. If it's $1.50 and it goes 3, fair enough. That's the plan. VWAP retracement. The market's not going anywhere. If it breaks 69, take the stairs up. If AMD is going to go 5% today or something crazy, you should be able to get in multiple times if that's the case. Sometimes you don't, but I'd rather make that opportunity to go into it. So BABA was the other name we're looking for the long. Got AMD. BABA hasn't come back into VWAP for me. So I'm still sitting here looking for the bid on Alibaba. AMD about $1. Like I said, I want that 150. And what a good out on Funware. These stocks, when they catch a bid, like that's insane. Like that wick bottom that I showed you, I wish I could tell you I was going long off that wick bottom. I wasn't. But big, strong move in Funware. I'm going to fade this off VWAP now that I look at it. Seller there, I'm going to join.
All right, I know there's some talk about you getting out of a firm, but we already explained that. So I'm going to explain that I'm in it now. So we're getting it against 45. I put that in the chat that we were going to get in a firm against 45. So we're in it now. Let's just see if it works, man. If it breaks through 45, we're going to get out. We're going to average this back in. We don't have very many shares. We're waiting for a 90 fill to get us something here on a firm. So that's going to be a big one for me there. A little bit of a pullback in for Google, but not enough, obviously, here, as not much is happening for this position right now. So hopefully we can get a little bit of a fill now and then watch out for Google making a little bit of a play back in. That's Google. We'll wait to see if it can do something, but I don't mind the shot here on that. You could really see that Square is starting to go back up to the upside as well, so that's going to be something that's worth me holding on to. But here comes Google. We need some fills in these 60s, right? So 66s we just got, so that's good. Hopefully this can continue to crank downside here for the market, for a firm, for Google, and for the shorts that we have. So far so good here. Waiting to see if these shorts will wind up printing for us. Newest position is right there, man. Google, a firm to the short side. So let's wait to see if those want to continue to print. It's a firm right here. Google, we talked about that. All right, let's go over to Adara. Now someone from 780 is calling me. Shout out to whoever that is.
Nice look for a snowflake here. SNOW up 2%, making new 52-week highs. Yesterday, JMP Securities reiterating outperform with a $212 price target for SNOW.
The heater game, man.
Like that snow, yeah. I have You know what? I actually drank a lot of this coffee, to be honest with you, today. So the heater is very, very key. I mean, I can't. The only I think we're waiting for more.
We actually don't have.
Because, like,
we have no more outlets. That
you know what's going to happen, dude? I plugged that thing in. Bye your whole station. Bye mine. Bye everybody else.
I unplugged my iPad charger.
I'm not going to risk this getting shorted. But just
by the way, Snowflake is breaking a massive level
that.
on the daily chart. 303. It's a double top on the daily. It's worth going over to. The second I see buyers above it,
here goes a
and holding above, I think that's worth. The market is a little bit weak, so I would give it a chance to pull back. But yeah, that's a monster level there on Snowflake if it can hold above.
All right, guys, I told you what I mean. If you know what my favorite stock is, put your hand up. It's a firm. There it is right now. We'll take 20 cents on the first piece. Now we'll see if we can get a little bit lower here for a firm. Shorted it. There it is. Let's go. Get the hell down right now. So we'll still wait, man. It still could be an L. Who knows? We're playing a firm to the short side right now. And Rumble is now a chicken dinner winner. Well, it's been a chicken dinner winner all day, but it's just been, broiling up. No, it hasn't been. It was all the way down, and now it's making a move back up. We got a couple good outs there, man. It came all the way back to right to the 200 period, 53s. We actually got a 56 fill and a 50 fill. So nice moves back downside there for Rumble, but then blasted back up. I do have a bid right now on Rumble. We talked about trying to get a little bit more at 516. So we have a bid down there. If it does go back down, we want to get some more Rumble on that one. A firm right now, come on, man, just break 50. We're short at 80s right now on a firm. So yeah, a break of 50 gets us into the 40s where we're bidding. So let's see if a firm wants to get to the downside, man. Again, really like this name. Let's see if it can continue to work a little bit lower. My biggest position, though, is in Google. So let's see if Google wants to fly a little bit lower here. I guess you don't fly low. Let's see if it wants to get a little bit lower here.
Not intentionally.
Yeah, not intentionally, but I need this one to get down intentionally. So DWAC is ripping as well. Yeah, everyone, make sure you do subscribe for sure.
Yeah, DWAC is
like and subscribe today.
Get that in there today. And there it is. It's a nice move down. A firm also. I might just buy some 50s.
So DWAC just wicked the 45 level. It was ripping off the 40 level. 40 to 45 is a big move. That's a 10% move. But it just rejected that 45 at the same time when we were back into Funware rejecting VWAP. So it just took the 41. I got bids at 40 and then 39. That's a double bottom at that 38 level, so I want to profit off it. I think you got to watch pretty closely DWAC if you're trading Funware. They're moving nicely together. It's 10:20. Looking at one, let's find out how some other small caps are doing with Adara at the big screen.
IWM, Russell 2000, the small cap ETF, falling a little bit here, still up about 0.5% on the day. Lots of runners, as we've seen these last couple days. Solid Power, one of these, I mentioned this one earlier, SLDP, announcing a $50 million share repurchase authorization, up about 20% on the day. Another one to keep an eye on here. NVVE is the ticker for this one, winning a $16 million project for Fresno Economic Opportunities Commission. So I think this is certainly one to keep an eye on as well. Up about 32%, was a little bit higher earlier today. We also have, last but not least here, Rail Vision, and this one's been moving for a couple days here. Announced yesterday that its mainline system has successfully obtained some certifications from Europe. So another really strong day for RVSN, guys.
All right. Now a firm is not $1 in the money. It's a $0.50 in the money right now. So there's a nice little 50-cent winner for you on a firm, man. There it is. Nice little move down for that name. And then also, I told you my biggest position was Google, and that one's heading to the downside right now as well. So yeah, man, like I said, every day that we're here is a good day, and we're here again. So bye-bye, Google. We'll put another bid there and get out of that one. As here we go. Nice move to the downside again. Shout out to my boy over there, DAC, again. Again, I really, really like that guy. All right, so here we go. Apple is fading out. We should not have gone long on Apple. That is a mistake for me because we do have a big trade happening, of course, on Google. So going long on Apple is not well advised. I'm going to get out of this trade. I hope it really wins because we do have some shares on board here. But I'm going to just start to get some out here on Apple because this is not necessarily the trade that I like. But we did buy the 194s. So far, so good on that one here for Apple. So I'm just going to start to piece some of this out. It's going to be hard to win on a Google short and an Apple long. So that's something that's not going to piece out well for me. So we're going to start getting some more out here. Like Google was just in the 50s, right? And we got some more out. So we'll wait for that one as Apple's trying to fail here at 194 as well. So pretty dangerous game being played here on Apple as it just continues to march lower. Even more aggressive, I feel like, than many of these names.
Got to address a question here from Stay-at-Home Dad.
Perfect.
It's impossible to tell if they are long or short, just me. Check the position board underneath. So hopefully, again, that is current live positions at all times. Now, there is a slight, like, few second delay when a position is covered, but generally speaking, we'll tell you when that's coming out, to be sure. So, like, you got to be paying attention pretty closely, but if we're saying we're taking a position in something and you don't see it on the position board, it probably hasn't gotten to our entry price, but it will pop in within a few seconds. So I'm only in 3 stocks. Save, to give you an example, because this will probably happen, long at the 9 level on that last little bounce, looking for it to hold VWAP. If it breaks underneath 880, you'll see that position go, right? Like, you're going to see that come out if it breaks 880 because I have a stop underneath. So I will cover that for a loss on save. Just want to make sure that you guys understand what's going on, what we're doing here. That's the entire purpose, but that's where you want to find the positions, right? I know we're talking about what we're going to do later, but that's in reaction to things that can happen in the market. You can always see what we're doing live. Speaking of what we're doing live, Baba doesn't want to go. Forget about Alibaba. It's not going to give that 74 break, and I don't want to keep staring at it. Save is about to come out here. We did talk about this market holding the range. The market is now breaking the range to the downside.
Yeah.
So we're breaking some of those. Let me just full screen it. So we're breaking that range low, looking at the overnight bottoms here on the overall market. So we are headed back into said downside. Apple, I know we liked. There we go. This is a pre-market bottom here at 194 and the close price at 193.89. So it just wicked the previous close, which to me is generally going to be an entry. So when the market's at pre-market lows, overnight lows, Apple is getting to its pre-market kind of over-under level. Looking for buyers above 94. Once I see that, I'll go in. Previous close is my out. It's about 15 to 20 cents worth of risk there.
All right, we knew we were going to be in trouble with Apple, man, and it broke lower, so we were able to get something out. Now we're going to go short on this one, but we told you also, and again, per Neil's point, just ask us. Super chat us 5 cents. You can ask us if we're red or green on a name, anything like that. We will answer it right now or at any time for you. But there's Google. We talked about this one being a position that we were going to be net short with, and here it comes back in for Google. So let's just start to cover some of that. But it is a fail on Apple, so. It came back up, and now we're short. We're just getting thrown around a little bit here. I thought maybe since Apple broke this 40 level right here, that maybe we would sort of play the short against that. So we'll try to average into a little bit of a short position now for Apple against this like 194.30. I'm going to put the out at like 19. I mean, now the futures are starting to really start to go back up to the upside a little bit here off that dump. All right, let's get out of 75% if we get too high here for Apple. So we'll watch it. We are going to average it a little bit now. We missed the average. That's okay. We'll take some 13s, some 17s, and then we'll try to get it because we just put 50s, man. We would really like to get a little bit shorter into the 39, 40 area. So we'll try that. Here it is. It's pulling back down a little bit. It's Apple. Just giving a little bit of love back to the downside. We really need this thing to come in. So we'll wait. But the market, man, is just like, it was just there. Now it's here. I mean, a little bit of a test at 17.4 would be nice, but it's still just, remember, we have Tesla, we have Netflix. There's a lot of big earnings coming. So this could be part of what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, Netflix, which we haven't even looked at today, mostly because it's nowhere near the 500 level. Trade stocks at key prices or at setups that you like. So Netflix, nowhere near that 500. I have Apple off of that previous close, so 193.89. This is a little hard to see because you got all these wicks in here. These dark pool wicks can be annoying. Get rid of them sometimes. I'll do that probably at lunchtime. But 194 entry, and then out will be at the previous close underneath that 193. It's about 89 was a close, 85 we'll have for now. Once it goes 1-to-1 and then VWAP, that's a move I'm looking for. I just reloaded Funware at VWAP here. So it got to 42, 42.5, down into 41, took a couple of outs, headed back to the upside. Meanwhile, DWAC went 45, back into 43. Well, if this breaks out at 45, I got a pretty good idea what's going to happen to Funware, and it's not going to be fun for the short. So this is a pretty tight stop on Funware. I don't think, yeah, and there it goes. It's going to break 44 as we speak. There's size at 45, but I'm not waiting until that level. Like, I'm getting out if it breaks 44. There is size on the offer at 45, but given what's happening in DWAC and the fact that Funware has already been good, that was a big reversal at the bottom. This is not one I want to average in and take fills above VWAP. No, we're in 4.2 We're going to get out at 44 if it breaks it. No need to make a mess of something. It's been a good short. You don't want to throw good money at bad. That's right. I always see, I'm second guessing. Every single time I say that now, I second guess, because I know Sean second guesses when he says it, but I feel like we're saying it right. Apple's still bouncing a little bit here. Sharif's laughing because he knows it's true. Like, the funny thing about trading and while you're talking is you get really comfortable saying certain things, and I could say something wrong like 10 times in a row, but because it's in my like trading show vernacular, you'll just hear it over and over again, like how we were calling Nio when we first started the show. You're not even thinking about it. And then someone corrected us. You guys realize you're saying Nio wrong. It's like, oh yeah, we are. Our bad. So a couple of things, just an update. I said Spirit was going to stop out, and my stop was underneath 880. Well, it bounced at 881. So sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. In this particular case, we got a little lucky with Spirit Airlines. So it holds on to VWAP. This might be worth an ad if it can get back above $9, just given what I just saw.
All right. Yeah, just sat back down. Not much happening. Went and got another coffee. Rumble back up. I think that we could probably take advantage of this a little bit. Looks like Google wants to just, oh, we just got more shares on Google. Okay. Our stop on Google is right up here anyways. Like, we need this market to come down now as we're short both Google at 88. So Google is fine, but it's Apple that's starting to go. It's funny because we were long Apple until it broke 194, and now it's right back to where we were long. So again, we probably, this is what happens when we step away from a little bit of what we're doing. Like, we should have got out once it broke right there, the 200 period. That would have been the real out there for Apple, but instead we sort of stayed in it, and now we're paying a little bit of the piper here as it's trying to go back up to the upside, and we're going to watch out for that as our out. And remember, we did talk about if Google does think about breaking through O's there of 147, that will be our out. I can't hold. Remember, I was like, oh, we got one short, one long. Well, I mean, that didn't really work out for us. So we'll have to wait now. Hopefully we can get a little bit of a pullback in, and we'll take some pressure off Google if it does get into the mid-80s again, and we'll take some pressure off there. Affirm did go down to 44 and stop, so we'll have to put a bid now on Affirm down there. My bid was at, actually did not have a bid, so my bad on that one. So here comes Affirm right now in. We'll see if we can get a 10 fill or so. That bounced off, basically off O's. So again, man, a nice little 80-cent winner here if we can get it on Affirm. And here comes Google trying to push lower now as well. So hopefully some of these stocks will retrace a little bit for us, and we'll be able to cash out of some of these shorts. But first things first, market needs to go down.
Yeah, the market just, I mean, it wicked that bottom again. Someone just asked what chart do I use for my outs? I use in general, not necessarily for outs, but I have a 3 minute, 5 minute, 3 minute, 15 minute, and a daily chart. The out I used here on Funware was simply, if it broke VWAP, I wanted to be out if it took the next penny above. So they had nothing to do with the chart. I'm just looking at the tape in level 2 for that entry. I'm short right at VWAP. I don't like putting a stop at VWAP. So I took 42.5, risk a cent and a half. I was taking 1-to-1 at 41. So once it went 1-to-1 and I saw that 44 break, that's just my out right there. And a lot of times I'd rather be using a 15-minute chart for big levels. Right? Like, why did I go short on Funware? Nothing to do with the daily chart. It was a 15-minute chart right here. So that's Funware and DWAC at the same level. So that's what I wanted to respect. Apple just got a scalp trade as it bounced off that 94. In this particular case with Apple on the 3, like, it showed you at the open, and this is hard to see because of all these wicks. Sorry, guys. At 9:30, we opened right at this 190.35 level. So when it bounces and then finds some sellers at that range, is a downward trending stock since the opening pop, the lower high to me would be that level. So I took a scalp trade out. If it tests lower, I try to get an even better fill if I can get like an even 194. I'm still in Fisker, as you can see, but Fisker just generally trending back down toward that 92-cent level. We're short here at 97.5 on Fisker. Haven't made a single trade in the crypto space, so let's go on and see what's going on with crypto names. That was kind of a run-on. What's going on with the crypto names here, Coinbase, Mara, and Bitcoin in general, Adara.
A lot of these crypto names lower today because Bitcoin and some of these other cryptocurrencies are lower, which we'll get to in a second. But Coinbase definitely one of these crypto stocks to talk about today. JP Morgan downgrading to underweight due to some concerns about the crypto space with the rally fizzling out here, and the $80 price target for Coinbase. So right now we're trading about just above that 120. So pretty significant price target decrease here. Definitely something to keep an eye on, coin. In terms of Bitcoin itself, very much heading to the downside. Second day in a row with this significant candle down. We are now below that 39,000 area, kind of waffling between 39,000 and mid 38,000 right now. We're just below 39,000, down about 3.5% in the day. Ethereum down about 6% in the day. Solana down about 5%. Ripple down about 3%. Cardano down 4.5%. Really weak day for cryptocurrencies across the board, guys.
Yeah, we highlighted that earlier about the crypto names being weak, but you know what isn't weak, man? The force is strong over here. We'll have siren alert for Google. I mean, you know, now we just need Apple. I guess Apple, we were right. Apple's just too strong. Google's weaker one there today. We were able to get some Apple out as it came back into 194. We got 08s and we got 02s there on Apple. Remember our average price. Sorry, we got 04s and 05s is what we got. Same sort of difference there on Apple. 04s and 05s there for Apple. Let's just see if it dips back in. We do have our target out for that one, and unfortunately it's looking like it doesn't want to do very many nice things, but all the bad things, because right now, I feel like whenever we're in a firm, we've got something. So right there, now a firm is now $1 in the money. We talked about it being a $0.50. Bye-bye a firm. Going to be one of the #1 stocks here. That's a good move there for a firm on the way down for me. DWAC, yeah, we can look at DWAC. Neil was just looking at that one, but
it's getting close to 50.
Okay, so Google, I just want to quickly, like, some of these names are moving back up. So I'm going to put a bid at 74 again for Google. There we go. We just got it. Let's see if it falls down. It's really Apple. Apple's the only name that we're red on today is Apple. Affirm up, Google up, Nio up, Rumble up, Square up. 5 wins, 1 L, and it's Apple. So unfortunately, we wanted the long on it, and it looks like we were winning on the long, and it's the short that's going to kill us. So stay in the pocket.
Yeah, this one is definitely still in this pot. I don't think it's, like, I'm long. I know you're short, but it's basically just trading a 30-cent range off this level. Oh, goodness, that wick. 30-cent range, which you scalp once. I'm not convinced. It's still a downward trending stock. If it gets to VWAP and makes a turn there, I think I just jump out of this trade. Thank you very much for the super chat in here. We appreciate you, Mr. Willis Addison. Caught my new puts yesterday. Coin 130, boom. We'll give you congratulations right there. Hey, we appreciate the super chats, but the only thing you got to do around here to make us happy is you know what.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
And the more likes and subscribes we get, the more likely DWAC breaks 50. Nah, we're just making that up. I don't know if DWAC's going to break 50. I have some concern of the time of day here because it's 10:30. It feels a little trappish. The only reason is at about this time is when, like, it was right at 11 o'clock when this went ham. Can we come to my chart for a second, Ram? Like, this is when the stock really got going yesterday. So how obvious would it be if right at 11 o'clock, DWAC did it again? Like, what are the odds of that? It breaks to 50 and then goes ramping to like 60, 70, 80? It feels a little too obvious. So I'm still gonna look at this level for an entry into a Funware short. So if it fails 50 again, and I know it's getting close, I'll probably look to jump back into Funware in the sell side and give it another chance to work a short trade there. If it breaks out, DWAC rallied all day long, you probably could find some entries to the upside as well. Tesla looks like it's failing. Tesla cannot hold this 212. This is what happened yesterday, only a more shallow move. Broke out 212, failed 17, broke out 212. I get out too early as usual, but then it fails 215. And then yesterday it was a short underneath 212 and maybe even at 211 the whole way through. So I got to start thinking short on Tesla, which also might mean short on Rivian. Where's Rivian at?
Ooh,
Rivian's right at VWAP too. Like, look at the range on Rivian. That looks pretty clean here. Lower highs, the next lower high would actually line up pretty decently with VWAP. So I might actually take a gander at Rivian, which, by the way, made a double top with yesterday. Look at that. When in doubt, zoom out, everybody.
Yes, sir.
I wasn't looking at Rivian when it made that double top. You probably risked 5 cents to make 50 if you shorted that. But let's look at the VWAP short here and keep an eye on Tesla.
Yeah, we just got into a much bigger position on Apple, but we just took some out at 30. It's not like it's working out here. So we're going to have to wait again for this trade to come through. Hopefully it can hit to the bottom side of this and we'll get some more out. But right now, we're just holding on by the skin of our teeth right now on Apple. Affirm, we've already talked about that. Rumble has been a beast, man. Rumble, again, another top stock for me today. Just because we held on to it. Like, again, not very, in my zone, but, we'll take it out as we see fit. Like, we averaged it in when it was the 200. We got some out at the 200, out again. Now we're at VWAP. I'm sitting at 70 now to see if we can get, or am I? I thought I was. We're sitting at 70, yes, to get some more out here on Rumble. Hopefully that'll happen for us. And then after that, we'll see. Oh, there we go. So that's it. So that, again, let's go, man. It's a chicken dinner winner there on Rumble. Congratulations, guys. If you held that, it's a big stock there. And a big day for Rumble shareholders. Up another 17% off some of that wild news about Studio and really trying to make a difference there in the streaming area. Okay, Apple's just... It sucks that it's going to be my only L today, is Apple. But unfortunately, that is what it is. And it's, we should have been long. We wrote down on the sticky note long, and now we're going to lose short. So... staying with sometimes what you're doing makes the most sense, and we didn't do it there. But Apple right now, nice move. It did go down and break 194, which was kind of the area for me. But right now, we're trying to give this 50 more cents, and it looks like that's exactly what it wants to do, is go to the high side now. We're just going to get out of 75% of it, as we said, and then try to see maybe even about a VWAP or something like that break. We just don't want to get out of everything on this move because we did there and it was wrong. So we'll wait to see what happens here at the 50 period. It's not a bad spot now to get short, but the market's breaking again. What a dead market, man. I remember looking at this an hour ago and we were flat. Now we're flat again. So you gotta be on the right names today. It looks like Apple was a long.
The overall market is not the place to look. I would imagine, and you guys in the chat can let me know, is there anyone actually trading the futures? Like I'm looking at a 30 handle range for the most part on the NASDAQ, which is absolutely nothing. The ES, 48.8 to 48.9 for the 10 handles. Like, that's nothing. So, look, Alibaba broke this 74. I think a little bit too much patience. I was looking for a consolidation of VWAP like it did here. Well, guess what? It didn't happen. Now you've broken out the 74 level. You need to start looking for the buy above the 74 on BABA before it's at 75. But let's see what's going on in other sectors that might be moving and providing opportunities with Adara at the green screen.
Really mixed look, and we're starting to see some of the effects of earnings season they're going to have on some of these sectors here. Johnson & Johnson to the downside, leading a pretty weak health technology sector today. Eli Lilly also down significantly, so lots to watch out for in the sector. Producer manufacturing a bit more mixed here as well, with 3M to the downside after its earnings report. And then also energy minerals pretty strong here, consumer durables, health services, some stuff on this side, far side of the board here, looking a little bit better. Consumer durables, mixed to positive with Procter & Gamble earnings, leading this one to the upside a bit here as well. Verizon with earnings and communications. On the other side, we do have these technology-related sectors here. So technology services, pretty mixed on the day. Meta to the upside after getting 2 upgrades here, one from, price target increases, one from Canaccord, one from Citigroup, and then pretty mixed performance from these usually stronger chip names here in electronic technology, AMD, INTC, and Broadcom, all to the downside here, guys.
Yeah, the chip names, Intel is actually, it's down 1%, but since the open, it's actually trending higher, which is weird. So it's holding the lows. It's holding a higher low as we speak above VWAP. I know it's down that 1%. That can be deceiving at times, and the chart is not very clean for Intel. A lot of times I'd be looking for the short at that 48 level, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to get there. I just got into Rivian, so the new position for me is going to be Rivian. I know Tesla. Usually there's sound that goes with that. Tesla, well, if there was, I didn't hear it.
There was.
Okay. It was sound. So Tesla, I know, is a little bit weak. It was more looking at the lower highs in Rivian, and then when it rejected VWAP, jumped in. I tried to get 44s. I did get 41s. Partially there, I still have the rest of the order sitting at 41 to try and grab some shares. So I'm going to get short in the 40s and look for it to continue the stair step to the downside. Tesla is also stair stepping to the downside, but look at it hold 210. So I got my eyes on this. If it breaks above 212 and I'm not stopped out above VWAP on Rivian, I might just punch out automatically. Apple is trying to battle VWAP itself. I did say if it fails here at VWAP, I'll just jump out of the trade. This is a very muted market, and if the market's muted, then Apple can just be a 50-cent range stock at lunch. That is very possible. If the futures don't want to move anywhere, I mean, Apple, which is the market in some ways, it might not move that much either. If you're still waiting for DWAC at 50, I think that's a big actionable level on DWAC, but we're just going to have to be patient for it. It's now consolidating above. The volume's tapered off a lot. I'm not really seeing any big reason why it's going to test it, but that can change in any second. My plan is to still look for the fade on Funware when DWAC breaks that 50 level. That's what worked once. I'll give it a chance to work again.
All right, United Airlines just came in. They're having the call right now. So if this breaks back down, then we're going to have to get out of UAL. I mean, the call is on right now. This is why I don't like to trade.
I hate that.
But we're okay. We purposely don't have very many shares. So there's the move in. We wanted to watch 40, so we'll watch it. We'll still watch it. Hopefully it will hold, but it may not. We do have a new position. I want to try Tesla here. So let's see if it wants to make a move back in. We're still short a little bit of Apple, but we'll see if Tesla can come back. I just want to see that 210 area. It's up on the day. The market just needs to figure itself out. I just think that this is worth the shot. If the market blasts here, Tesla can get to 214, 215, probably worth holding on just a little bit more to this name and average it in. So if it comes back into 210, I'm just putting some more fills here. That's what we want to look at. So 210 and change. A little bit of a break on that one, and we'll have to get out. But 210 coming in again here on Tesla. We're long right here right now at 210.97. So we took a 211 break and then basically 211 again. So we'll wait to see if that comes in. That's Tesla. UAL trying to bump up. Square, we get a little bit more. We got to go fix out some of our stops because some of these markets, the market came in on some of these names is what I'm getting at here. So let's put a stop on Square, but we did reload that.
So just a note here, I've been watching this because there's this dual listed stock I'm looking at, but the USD CAD is having another sort of trend upside kind of day here. But anyways, I'm out of Apple when it wicked underneath that 194.50 again, and I thought Apple was the strong stock in the Mag 7. Meta is a strong. Meta's up 1.5% and charging toward this level here yesterday. Now note the symmetry. Hey, look at the same bottom. Why wouldn't we have the same top here at the 390 level? So if we get to 390 at lunchtime, I'll probably look short before I look long on Meta, just respecting the range that it's got in here. So it is what it is. Sometimes we'll miss some names that are moving. Apple has been a good trade recently, but it's Meta that's moving the most and looking the strongest one. Fisker, I will note, I see people in the chat talking about it.
Tesla.
It's still doing the same thing it did before, which is it failed $1 yesterday, then slowly moved into the downside. It's not doing much. If it breaks the low of the day, I'll let you know because I've gotten to fill at that 92 level. But Meta is a strong one. If it gets to 390, I'm looking to short that 390 level, and it's looking pretty darn strong. Just because yesterday's top and resistance at the 90.
Okay, so we have Tesla. It filled a little bit, but we didn't get our very, very bottom fill there on Tesla. So let's see what happens now and where we go. So Tesla trying to make a move back up. We're basically flat on the name. Let's see again if it wants to work. So it's Tesla. It's trying to go right now, and we're long right here. So we'll see if that one wants to come through. Good little reload on Square, but it's only good if we get out. We're long at 75. I thought we had an offer. We do have an offer up there, but not till 95. So we'll slip something in the 80s just in case that one wants to go. But so far, so good. Everything's just kind of a little bit in the pocket right now. Apple's, we're still a little bit short. We talked about that. We're waiting for Tesla to bounce. We've got Square. Rumble right now is going. I feel like we could get another piece out now. The best offer I have now is still that 630. So maybe let's just put a piece on Rumble at 80s or so and get that fill. We'll put a 79 and see if we get it. And then here comes Tesla right back up. So let's take a piece out in the 90s if we can, like 5%, just to see if we can pay for some fees here. And then get going on Tesla. We don't want to give this one up too early now, as we do have a good opportunity to get back up. I feel like, anyways, that's 211 and change there for Tesla, 211.50. That top is 211, yeah, 211, 211.50. So here we go. I'm not even saying it on purpose anymore. Once you say it once, it's like stuck in there. There, 211.15 is what we're waiting for. Give it to us, yes, sir. There we do not go for Tesla. Nice move back up to the upside there. Nice little 50-cent winner for Tesla. We did get that Rumble, it looks like. Yes, we did at 80. Wow, okay. So that was a good fill there for Rumble. And yeah, so far so good as we wait on these names.
Yeah, I just got into finally VWAP on Alibaba. Yeah, that took a while. We missed it the last time because it kind of wicked the level. These wicks are not real, so there's your hold at 73, and then it held here at about 73 and a quarter. Long in front of that on a VWAP bounce. It already bounced one time and got up into the 80s, so it should make some sense to try to take that again. Look, the Chinese ADRs have all been strong today. BABA's up 7%. I don't see a reason why it doesn't test the 50 period if it can take out the highs, but this is more of an inside range trade. If it goes VWAP, scalp to the high of the day like we did last time. Rivian, which was our other new entry position, that got close to VWAP. Very tight. Like, look at the ranges on these stocks. 16.25 to 16.50 with one exception, a break of like 8 or 9 cents. So I think playing inside the range is going to make some sense here too with Rivian. You have a lot of sideways moving stocks that you want to respect. DWAC still doesn't want to do this $50 break, which is annoying. That's ridiculous. We want that short in Funware off of DWAC failing, but if DWAC doesn't actually get to 50, the play might be just to sit in a short on Funware, and then if it doesn't break the 48 level, I can just play it that way. Because I jumped out of Funware last time through, and now look at that wall. I said there was size at 45, but I was going to get out at 44. The size is now held at 45 for like 25 minutes. So there's clearly a big seller at 45 that's probably scalpable. I might get impatient and risk like a quarter of a cent to take that trade.
All right, and that's what you have to do is, get your risk to reward. And let's go Tesla. Let's go Tesla, man. This is gonna be jumping up the board. Yes, sir. That was a good trade, and that was a good out. Another out there at the 50 period. We just got 26s there on Tessie. So that was a good trade.
You'll say Tessie?
Yep, exactly. And then we've got, so that's a good one. And then our next one there, of course, is we're now in $1. So another one. We go Dollar Club winner, hopefully on Tesla there. And then now we'll wait for Affirm, as here comes Affirm. Literally my favorite stock, man. And I just want to. We shorted the VWAP trade there. Boom to the downside. Bye-bye, Affirm. See you later. It's now $1.04 in the money as that continues to go downside. Square breaks, so we'll give some back on Square. Unfortunately, we didn't even, again, I got to do better of looking at my orders. The stock that I got in trouble with was Apple, because we were sitting here at 194 when I didn't even mean to be sitting there. And then we gave some money back on Square because, again, some like hosting a show and speaking forever and having 5 positions and going, left my order. Yeah, Sharif, you should try it one day there, Sharif. But downside right there. As we get to the downside for Square, it is just continuously cranking lower right now. So maybe that PayPal Square connection, not the greatest back and forth here. But I like Tesla. What is the lesson today? Candlestick still?
Yeah.
All right. Ooh, the 6 bearish candlestick patterns.
So all the bears unite.
So I feel like that might be good today because the market
is bearish.
Just broke below. So let's.
Speaking of bearish and PayPal, 65 at PayPal. Look at VWAP. I knew there was something I was forgetting about. Look at the 65 level. Wicks above, and now consolidation underneath VWAP at 65. That risk, if you get 65s, is maybe 15 to 20 cents. So I am putting this one on the radar for a bit of a bearish move. Rivian just broke its range bottom. We scalped some out there for the first 10 cents. I'm looking at 16 bucks even here in Rivian. You wonder why? Well, this is why. Look at 16 yesterday in the afternoon. 1, 2, 3, then we closed at 16. I think it gets back into that 16 level and might find a little bit of a bid there. But I like that setup on PayPal on VWAP. It gives you a nice tight range. If it breaks the low, I think you've got a lot of room to fill the gap into the downside. Only 7 minutes to go till we go to the midday. We're not going anywhere. We'll be right back. I'll come by at 12 o'clock, give you the real deal. We'll be back at 2 o'clock as always. It's Tuesday, so we get a little Frankenberna as well. Ooh. And let's go on to the desk and get some money talks with Adara as Randy eats what looks like a delicious croissant right behind us.
DXY getting a nice spike to the upside, second positive day in a row. Now we're at that 103.75 area, so nice move up for the DXY. We did get that USA Richmond Manufacturing Index for the month of January coming in at -15 versus -7 expected, so a little bit lower than expected. Here we do have some economic data coming up later in the rest of the week. Thursday we're getting quarter-over-quarter GDP growth, and then on Friday we are getting the PCE data, so lots of economic data to keep an eye on with regards to the DXY. Also worth noting, this is the yen to the DXY, a little bit of a downside for the yen here. We did have the Bank of Japan deciding not to raise interest rates, so still negative interest rates for Japan. Just something to keep an eye on here with the yen to the downside against the USD, guys.
Right, here we go.
Killing me. We're talking chocolate croissants here with Randy, and it's making me hungry.
Yeah, he's got a plain one up in there. Okay, we're going to wait for, right now, Tesla. It looks like it's going to lose that 210 here. We have earnings in a couple days, so we'll wait to see what happens on Tesla downside. We've already taken, when all your outs are above your ins, that's great, but the one last one is the one that's going to matter as we start to break lower right now. So, again, the market's underneath VWAP. We still have Apple, but that's not really going to matter. I want Tesla to hold, but it doesn't look like it's going to. A quick out breaking through 210 and we're gone, man. So there it comes. Nicely back in. A lot of people looking for 200. We had Daniel Shea on yesterday as well, looking at 200 for Tesla, and that looks like where we might be headed here on TSLA. Apple falling down a little bit as well, so that's good. At least we have that short back on, but again, we already got stopped out of the majority of that trade as well, so we'll put some bids on Apple and see if Tesla can hold that 10 area.
Yeah, I'm just looking at NVIDIA here. NVIDIA is holding higher lows a bit. What a liquidity grab at the open for NVIDIA. That's pretty insane, but if this can hold on when the market goes to the downside, you might want to have this on your radar. When NVIDIA goes red to green, it can be pretty spicy. Apple was a good out at VWAP, but it gets trending down. I probably want to take a shot at it again at the 94 for like a 94 and a 194 half, but let's let it get down to that price. I don't think you want to, I'm not buying higher when this is making lower highs and lower lows, right? Like the lower highs, lower lows means trend down. If you get a good long trade off there, you should take your profits and possibly run. We talked about just PayPal there. Like the second I was like, I want some PayPal in front of VWAP, I saw it, remembered it, threw the offer in there at 90s, and then it just popped back down. So I'll be patient, allow this one to show me a nice little entry point, and then we can get into that. BABA, unfortunately, we had the long into VWAP. It did not hold on to VWAP. We lose 13 cents on that trade. Gotta have an out. If it carries back into 72.5, that's the opening range bottom. So either above VWAP again or 72.5. It's up 7%, so I only want to be looking long for now, but I'm not going to fight this one as starting to show some signs of decline here in BABA. But PayPal, if it gets to VWAP, I do want to short that.
All right. Yeah, we're
oh, here we go.
NVIDIA, sorry, I hear my guy over here talking about NVIDIA. Damn you, Sharif, you got me there. No, I'm on another name that could be on crack in a minute here as well, Tesla. Let's see if that can get back going, man. We're well in the money again on this name, and we just need it to just keep on doing what it's doing, man. Tesla, just keep on bouncing off that 210, please and thank you. A couple more outs there. again, just hoping for a successful trade here on Tesla. It looks like we might have that one coming back in again for that. So far, so good there. Affirm is still $1. We talked about that. Apple, we got some out at 30s. We'll wait to see if we get a little bit more going on that one as well. But yeah, so far, so good with everything, man. Couldn't be happier with some of the most recent moves. We haven't necessarily had the best trades on today for everybody. But here we go. Come on. Let's go Tesla. We really need this one. Back up into the mid-70s would be pretty sweet for this. We talked about buying that 210 area right now. Come on. We'll just take 50. Like if we could, basically, we're just trying to scalp it out. We have a decent amount of shares here. So we're going to see if we can get this one going. Tesla back up to the upside. A good trade there for us. Apple falling down as well. So not as well. Tesla's going up. But we got to get out of more Apple. There it is. We'll get out some more 24s as Tesla's. Really, I'm going to get out another piece, man. I have too many shares for what we're doing. Nice move. Let's go. Big move back up to the upside. It's Tesla. It's going to be number one right now. Nice trade there. Let's see if we break above 211 right there for Tesla. So good trade. Needed it. Thank you, Tesla.
RL saying Tesla hope V-shaped recovery.
Oh, man, that was good.
We'll know by the end of the day, that's for sure. But it feels like some of these EVs are trying to make bottoms. I'll just give you an example here. Like you saw Tesla just bounced. Fisker is making a double bottom as we speak. I don't know if it's going to hold it, but it just made this bid at 93, and I'll respect that. If the leader of the pack holds a bid, and I'm showing something holding a double bid, and it's yesterday's close, that's a level to cover some. Rivian, which is the other EV name working to the downside, that just bounced in front of yesterday's low, and it's showing some signs of life. So just as I said, I'm going to pop on the bid. If it got to yesterday's afternoon resistance level and caught a bid in front, I'm jumping out. The shorts to VWAP into that level. If it fails that level, great. But to me, no one ever went broke taking profit. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Although Obi was like, oh man, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, or you got to watch out you get kicked in the face.
That's right.
I mean, to me, I was like, how could you be so slow that while looking a gift horse in the mouth, you get kicked in the face? That was my 2 cents when he said that, but to each their own. The whole point is don't get burned. Whatever your trading strategy is, if you have a reason why you wanted to get in and a reason where you wanted to get out, just do it. So maybe Rivian goes another 30 cents to the downside, but the reason in was trend down, short in front of VWAP, and short it to this level. It shows a bounce off that level. It so happens that Tesla bounced as well. That doesn't hurt. Then just jump out of the trade. Take the money and run to the next level. And yes, gift horses do like sugar cubes. That is true. In the chat. Appreciate it.
All right. I mean, like we said, guys, it's a pretty easy game, this game to play. You look at your results, and they'll tell you about your strategies, and then you want to improve on them, right? So like Neil was saying, man, scalp out some names, hold other names, do your research. That's all that matters with everything. So we'll just keep on that. We'll keep on that spot and see if we can get some more winning trades in here at some point. We're still holding out. Like I said, we have a dollar club in Tesla. We have a dollar in Affirm. Both of those are working. Rumble's kind of just hovering. I did get out of Nio for flat there. We already, this was, again, the top stock for me was Nio today. Straight up to the upside there, so that's what that is, and good day for that one for sure. NIO, so hopefully you guys are on that as well. Apple's coming back down, and Tesla, we got more out there again. So that just ripped up, and our best out, whoopsies, here's a whole bunch of outs to the upside. So our best out right now is 211 15s or 211 12s as we start to bust higher now, and we're making all of that money back right now. So it's a good day for us here on Tesla and on the market. Some days are good days for Tesla, some days are bad. Today definitely goes into the good day category right now, as Tesla is by far my number one stock now. It's overtaking Nio, and that's because, again, we manned up and took some more shares. So that's, we just got 2 outs there? No, we didn't. Okay, I just got another out there at 45, so that's going to be a good opportunity there. And yeah, so far so good on Tesla. Let's just see where we can go for it now. I'm hoping next stop, where the hell is VWAP? 212.50. So 212 would be nice. 212.50 is even nicer right now. So that's going to be a level to look at for me on Tesla.
It is past 11 o'clock. We can, we're not network television. We don't have to worry about exactly whether it's 11,
Right.
none of that nonsense. But it is time. We're going to be learning about some bearish candle setups with Sharif and Adara. So that should be interesting. The market trending
really
down.
interesting.
But maybe you can find some of those in the wild, as they say, for some trades during lunchtime. So let's head on to the midday, guys. Good luck.
In the wild.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as the Midday Show. That is your girl, Adara. I'm Sharif, and as per usual, we're just going to wait for the chat to populate before we start shouting everybody out and doing the Katina patented roll call. We already got bears versus bulls, as we typically do.